Okay, so this is the last of the 4 quarterly meetings, the 4 meetings for quarter 1. So these were all done regionally. And what I hope to get feedback on is how we can better split up these regions. These were done geographically. How can we best split up the regions to make more sense for everyone? So would it make sense to do it by language, by culture, or something else that I haven't thought of yet? So if you have thoughts about that, I'd really love to hear your ideas. So I just have a few quick things that I'm going to talk about at the very beginning. Mostly last-ditch effort to get you all excited about and involved in our conferences that are coming up next. We are going to have a quick talk from Cesare Pagano, who's the Inclusive Outreach Sub-Working Group Chair or Co-Chair. And he's going to tell you a little bit about his sub-working group within the EC working group on astronomy for equity and inclusion. David is going to give us a little bit of an update of some of the things that he's done. Camilo, I think he signed up to join us during this meeting, but he joined us during the last meeting, so I'm not sure if that was a mistake. But if he doesn't join us now, you should definitely go and watch his talk about the Path of the Golden Ring project. That was a NOCs funding scheme project he did for 2023. And that was really incredible, really successful project. And then I'm going to open the floor to anybody who would like to talk about anything that's going on with them, or any project that they've been working on, whether or not it has anything to do with inclusive outreach. Although I would argue that most things that we do have to do with inclusive outreach. So the updates that I wanted to make sure were highlighted were CAP conference abstracts and grant submissions were extended to the 29th of February. So if you would like to submit a grant or an abstract, well, actually, if you would like to submit a grant, you also have to submit an abstract. But those are now due by sometime next week. So please take a look at that and submit your abstracts as soon as you can. I would also like to point out again, we have this opportunity for you to participate in the VOC, the Virtual Organizing Committee. If you are planning on submitting an abstract, then we'll pay for your virtual registration fee. Please, I put these slides in the Basecamp as a separate attachment so you can access the links. So please take a look at that. There's a couple specific responsibilities that you'd have as a member of the VOC, but I've laid those all out in the form so you can take a better look at that there. And if you have any questions, please just let me know, and I'd be very happy to talk about that with anybody. And then also, if you have any support that you're looking for your abstracts, if you're looking for English support, if you're looking for ideas, just brainstorming, please let me know as soon as possible, and I'd be happy to talk with you about that. And Robert, I think your question was, can you submit your abstract without paying the fee? Yes, absolutely. So the fees will not be due until after abstract submissions have been returned to the authors. So you won't have to make a financial commitment until you know that you'll be participating in the conference in that way. For the General Assembly, the abstracts and grant submissions are due by the 1st of March, and there will not be an extension. So please, if you're thinking about joining us, please do so as soon as possible. There is a special session for the OAO that's taking place on the first day of the conference, and we welcome participants online or in person. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. When you're submitting your abstract, you go down a little bit on the page and there's a section that asks for which session you want. If you scroll down to almost the bottom, you get the OAO, it's called the institutional meeting, I think. So if you click on the OAO institutional meeting, that's the one that you want to submit under. And then there are 3 categories that you can submit abstracts for. This is not listed on the website, but just so that so you know, it's the first is in celebration of the NOCs. So the whole session is dedicated to the NOCs projects, any work you've done as a NOC, particularly if you've done NOCs funding scheme projects or any of the projects with the SKAO. It's a really great opportunity to talk about your work then. We will have a joint session with the Pro-Am working group. But that session is going to not just be about Pro-Am, it's going to also be about citizen science projects, any collaborative project that you might have done as a NOC or not. So that's your opportunity to talk about your collaborative work. And then the final session is all about innovative ways of doing outreach. So moving beyond just doing a public lecture with some question and answers, but doing, I think some of the examples I give were a mobile museum or anything with the mobile planetarium, doing AR, VR, trying to break out of the box of some of the prototypical ways that we've seen people do outreach before, and just focusing on those. And then again, if you have any needs with abstract support, English or brainstorming or whatever you want, please let me know as soon as possible, and I'd be happy to help out with that as much as I can. You might also remember that I mentioned our Astro Excel project. That is a collaboration of a bunch of different networks that are coming together to accelerate research in astronomy communication, culture, education, and learning. And so we have this opportunity for early career researchers to become part of a cohort that will help us define what the needs are of early career researchers and how we can best help them network and move their research forward. So if you know anybody who would like to participate in that, if you would like to participate in that yourself, please sign up for this opportunity. I think it'll be a really great experience for everybody involved. And this last one is a little bit late because it's happening right now, but you should go watch the YouTube video of the OID 2023 projects that will be made available as soon as the meeting is over, which should be an hour before this meeting is over, unfortunately. So one final thing I wanted to mention was just the NOCs funding scheme for 2025. This is a little bit of an updated schedule from what I had put on Basecamp before. It's basically the same, but I think I just added an extra step in the schedule. So the reason why I wanted to make this session dedicated to inclusive astronomy outreach was because the theme of the next NOCs funding scheme is going to be inclusive astronomy outreach. So that's also why I invited Cesare here, who is going to talk a little bit about the stuff that his working group does. And in mid-March, we're going to hold an informal discussion with Cesare and his team to talk about what you could possibly do in inclusive astronomy, and to give you some kind of structure and framework for projects that you might be able to do in collaborations you might be able to work on. In mid-April, our global meeting, we're just going to have like an informal check-in just to see that you have everything that you need to move forward in this project. And then the rest of the schedule is the same as what I had on Basecamp. So again, if you have any questions about this, please let me know. Yeah, so actually, if anybody has any questions now, I'd be happy to take those. Otherwise, we can just continue on with Cesare's talk. No? Okay. So I will stop sharing, and Cesare, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, and nice to see you all. We have not been in touch for some time. I think the last presentation at the NOC was about a year ago or so. As Kelly mentioned, this year there is the focus on inclusive outreach for the NOCs funding schema. So I thought rather than giving an update on latest and so on, maybe it's good to have just a recap. What's up there on the resources that may be helpful to you and just to reconnect. So for those of you who have been around for a while, this may be just a repetition or let's say a reminder. And if there is anyone who is new, this good reference information in preparation for the NOC funding schema. So let me share the screen. I have a few slides so that we can have references, links, and so on. Okay. Can you see the screen? Good. So, as I said, it's just a recap. So moving forward, just a recap of what our group focuses on, because inclusion may have many dimensions, right? It can be cultural inclusion, gender inclusion, and so on. Our group is focusing more on the inclusion for people with disabilities. And in this slide, there are pictures taken from real-life activities that members of the group have been doing around the world. Most of them are about blind people, but the focus of the group is broader. So we also have experience working with people with hearing impairment, people with motor impairment, and even people with mental disabilities. What is our group about? First of all, what we're running is a long-term program. It's not just a project. Follow on to the 2019 Inspiring Stars exhibit. And the goal is to facilitate the development and, most importantly, the adoption of inclusion practices around the globe. Just briefly, how are we doing that? First of all, since there are so many experiences around the world, and I know some of you on the call are pretty active in this area, what we are doing is to gather and share what's already there so that everyone can benefit, common knowledge. And in order to make this common knowledge used and put in practice, we have put in place efforts to build a community around this. So we have been running a Facebook group, periodic webinars. There are ways to submit resources and so on. We will share the links later. And in doing this, it's also important to connect with the associations of people with disabilities, to connect with their community, and to get feedback on what we do, on what we prepare, new ideas, and so on. And we are also always trying to encourage the development and innovation of new practices and new experiments and so on that can become eventually common practices. So this is about our group. Now let's talk a bit about the resources that are available. You may remember we have introduced this starter kit for the outreach practitioners who have never worked with people with disabilities. Usually the challenge is to overcome the new thing, the fear of failure, the learning the new way of communicating with people. So we made available, first of all, a document of good practices that covers the various kinds of disabilities and how to work with people with those disabilities, as well as a set of 3 very simple tools and activities that you can do with those tools, that can be built with very small investment and just average handcraft capabilities and skills. Other than that, we have also a full repository of resources that are shared. And we are working actually with the Office of Astronomy for Education to have a common repository with much more advanced research capabilities. But for now, you can find the available resources there. And another important resource is the recording of some sessions we had to share practice, either at the previous CAP conferences or on our own webinars that we have been running. We have had 5 of them so far. And we have published the list of some of them, but others are available on the IAU YouTube channel. What's coming up? What are we doing? We will be at CAP24. We have submitted an abstract for the group, and some members will be there, so we can connect there. And we are supporting the NOCs funding schema preparation. We will have the session that Kelly mentioned, and yeah, we are always available to answer questions and maybe to learn from what you're doing. So the group is there to interact and be open. And finally, the contacts. I mentioned the Facebook presence. You can join the group and interact with other people who share the same interest. I'm sharing also the link to the group web page I mentioned before, where all the resources are available. There is a way to share your own resources. If you have done something that has been successful in this area, and you want to share with others with instructions on how to replicate, that would be great. And if you actually have experience and time and you want to contribute to the work of our working group, we are always welcome. We have an email contact, and the most recent addition has been the WhatsApp community. So you can join also there to interact with the group. That's all. As I said, it was just a brief recap on the resources that are available in preparation of the work you will be doing. Just reach out anytime and the group will be there. So, I don't know if there are any questions or comments.
I think
Yes,
David
no?
made a request for
Oh.
these slides to be made available. So if you want to send them to me, I can put them, or you can post them on the Basecamp thread. You have access to that. So
Okay, I can do that. Yes.
Thanks. Yes, it was different and difficult taking notes of the links. You know, it's
No,
better if
absolutely.
you can access the document. Thank you.
The idea was to use the slides as notes for you, so you don't have to write down things. Okay, if there is nothing else, back to you, Kelly.
okay, great. David, actually, do you want to go ahead and share what you were going to talk about?
Yes, I will try to share my screen. It will be this. And now presentation mode. And well, I'm ready to make a very short presentation about what we have done in Spain in relation to inclusive astronomy. You know that the Spanish NOC team is built up from Ana Ulla Miguel, she's a NOC. I am the co-NOC, David Galadi, and we have as an advisor Amelia Ortiz Gil, who was the Spanish NOC a few years ago. I have been not involved personally in the initiatives I am going to explain, but the lead in this trend has been carried by mainly two people. So in the inclusive astronomy initiatives in Spain, we have some 10, 15 people active for many years, but they are led by Amelia Ortiz Gil. She's a member of the Spanish NOC team, and she's a professor at the University of Valencia. She's here in the lower photograph, and Enrique Pérez Montero. She's an astrophysicist at the Astrophysical Institute of Andalusia in Granada city. You may know that city in the south of Spain. He's in the upper photograph. He's in fact a blind person, and he's working in astrophysics and professionally, and he's also promoting activities related to astronomy outreach for blind people. Well, the spectrum covered by the activities in Spain during the last years have been devoted mainly, as in the general case, Cesare, to visually impaired people, or blind people mainly. But there have been also several activities covering other needs, people with special needs of other kinds, mainly cognitive disabilities. Thanks to the initiative from the team at the University of Valencia, the activities for the International Year of Astronomy 2009 in Spain included a very strong component on inclusion. And there was a full series of interactive talks. They produced software with astronomical content designed for impaired people, and also a lot of hands-on activities, including a planetarium show for blind people. Many of those activities have been alive since then, and they are still being practiced. As said, the International Year of Astronomy activities for the impaired covered people with cognitive disabilities and visually impaired people. You can see a summary of this in the CAP journal number 11. It is an interesting summary in only a few pages, if you really are interested in what was done then. Maybe clearly the most successful activity was the planetarium show for blind people. It was based, the show was performed in the planetarium dome, but every person attending the show was provided with this kind of spherical representation for tactile representation of the sky. And during the show, you can see this was called the sky in your hands, literally. And at the entrance of the planetarium show, each blind people received this a copy of this tactile reproduction of the sky, and it was used during the show, following the indications of the audio part of the show. This was not including only a kind of planetarium model, but also different other products, tactile products with braille writing. So all those materials are still available somewhere. Apart from the activities developed in the year 2009, I have told you that many of them have been alive in the following years, especially those planetarium shows. But also last year we had the first Congress of Inclusive Science, promoted by the Spanish Higher Council for Scientific Research, also known as CSIC, and it was last October. And it was in general for sciences, but astronomy was present also in that event. You may look for information about this Congress on the network, but everything is in Spanish. And also now Enrique Pérez, I showed his photograph before, is devoting a significant part of his working time to promote experiences on sonification. Not only for blind people, but it is evident that this kind of action has a clear application to spread astronomy among the visually impaired people. In the following meeting of the Spanish Astronomical Society, that will be in July this year, there will be a full mini symposium or session devoted to sonification and other kind of innovations for research, for outreach, for impaired people, and also for non-impaired people. This is led, as I told you, by Enrique Pérez. And also the same person, Enrique, is maintaining a full portal on internet with materials devoted to accessible astronomy. You see, it is in Spanish, accessible astronomy portal. Here you have the link to access it. If you are capable to read Spanish, you will find the description of their project and also news and a lot of links to resources and media. So this portal is permanently available, and it is, as I said, maintained mainly by Enrique Pérez. And this is all the summary I wanted to show you. So I was, shorter even than 7 minutes. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, David. That was really interesting. I'm just pulling up your final link that you put in There we go. In
Oh,
case anybody can read Spanish, and
I will copy the link to the chat if you want.
I
But
think I got it, but yeah. And let's see if Google is smart enough to do this for me. Yes, it is.
that
Okay.
is the link. That's correct. And
Um,
also the link to the CAP journal issue where the activities from the International Year of Astronomy were described. As I said, even though they came originally from that year, many of them have been still alive during the later years.
Mm.
I guess that many of the materials produced in this frame may be accessible for other people. I mean that, for instance, the 3D files to print in a 3D printer, the celestial dome with the stars, or other kinds of things, maybe they would be available. I may turn to Amelia Ortiz and also to Enrique Perez and ask them if they would be prone to share those materials for our NOC initiative. I will ask them.
That would be great. Yeah. Resource sharing is always a big part of what we would like to do. And maybe if they're willing, we could put that on the resources that are on the Inclusive Astronomy Outreach website that Chisada was talking about. Chisada, in the last session, you mentioned that there was some problem with the website. Can you still use it to host materials?
Or actually, at the moment, we don't have a way to modify the website, but we definitely will find a way to publish stuff. I created a temporary one as an addition, let's say, to publish new stuff. And so yes, please, we can publish them, not on the official website, on kind of temporary website. And when we solve this issue, we will consolidate everything in one place. And anyhow, David, I think the material we're mentioning may already be there, as Amelia is also part of our group, and I know there are many things, so I can check there.
Yes, maybe many of the things that are already in your portal came from Amelia, and it is possible that most of the things I have explained are already there in. I told you I have not been personally involved in this effort, so I simply don't know. But I will check both with Amelia, that is very interested in this kind of activities since many years, and also directly with Enrique Perez, so the blind astronomer, because probably he has something that has not reached your portal yet.
Okay, yeah, whenever it's not there, we can add. And actually, if you want, I can quickly share the screen with that website just to show what's there, just briefly, not going through the resources, but just to have a look at the list, if you want.
Yes, of course. Okay, I can share the screen again.
Let me
sharing the screen.
No,
I am.
Please.
Yes, I am here. And where is the? Oh, which screen am I sharing? I am not sure now. Because no, I will stop share because I don't know which screen am I sharing.
I think Chisada meant to say that he was going to share his screen.
No, I was mentioning if you
was
want,
you.
I can share the available list.
Yes. All right, perfect. I didn't understand. All right, go ahead.
No problem. Yes. Okay, so if you use the link to our website, this is where you land. And so if this is the main page for our group. On the main page, there are just the starter toolkit. So the good practices and the 3 simple tools that I was mentioning. I'm not going through them, just showing the website. Then if you go to the resources tab, here resources are listed by kind of disability. So if you go to the visual impairment, you get a pretty long list. And I believe among this list, there is also the planetarium stuff that David mentioned.
I have seen the tactile model of the galaxy, for instance. It is one of the resources I showed, and it is already there.
Yeah, so
this is our sphere.
long.
Yes, I see.
I just want to impress you with the length of the list. So I'm not going through each one of them. You can do that. So this is the website. Currently, we don't have a way to change as far as I know. So what we did, we created a temporary website on Google Sites where we published a couple of additional resources. Like here, there are instructions on how to modify a telescope to allow observation from wheelchairs, instructions to build a tactile planetarium, and then the list of recordings I was mentioning. So our webinars and sessions from the previous CAP editions and so on. So that you have an idea.
Nice.
Great. Well, I'm glad that there's at least some cohesion between these things. And if nothing else, then we can link to the resources that Enrique has that are on
Yes.
his website.
At least the link should be would be good. Yes.
Sure.
Well, that's great. Are there any other questions for David and his work? No? Okay. Then thank you, David. And we will move on. I think, Turkey, did you want to talk about the work that you've been doing in Syria?
Hi, Kelly. How are you? Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear us?
Good evening. I hear you. Good evening, everyone. Actually, I didn't prepare any presentation to show to you today, but I wanted to talk about a little bit from our activity in Syria during 2023. We make a lot of activity for children and all people in Syria. We try to make astronomy and space science simply for everyone. But actually, the very important point for us in Syria was after the earthquake in February last year. So we try to make astronomy very easy for children and all people to describe how the earthquake happened, because a lot of people think the earthquake, there is a relationship between earthquake that happened on Earth and the stars and sun and moon. There's a lot very confused vision about it. So we make many activities. We make lectures, and we cooperate with many associations here in Syria, and make many lecture with like UNDP, like I'm sorry, with many groups to describe what happened and why we should study astronomy, and why we should do when the earthquake happened, and describe for all people. But maybe we try to use and take benefit from social media, like pages on Facebook and Instagram and TV show. We prepared and presented a full program to describe how earthquake do. It was cooperated with many schools and many organizations here. By this thing, we focus about prepare children to study science and astronomy, and especially space, to make this science simply for them. I'm sorry, I didn't prepare anything, and I lost the link before I asked Kelly for it. So that's everything about what I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you concerned about, I can send you our report we do it last year. You can see it and tell us your point if there is anything to develop our work.
Yeah, if you'd like to share that, that would be really great. I would love to see it. I'm sure I don't have anything to add, but it'd be great to watch.
Of course, I will send you to another.
That's great. And thank you for everything you've done. It's a really incredible thing to work in a disaster area like what you guys experienced. So this is a really important part of inclusive astronomy and just doing astronomy communication in general. So thank you. Thank you for that. Does anybody have any questions or things they'd like
Welcome.
to say? Okay, well, thank you again, Turkey. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to talk about, things that they've been working on with related to inclusive astronomy or not? Any updates that they've had in the last few months? Yes, please, Rob, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what Cesare mentioned about working with representative groups. We've been trying to make the observatory and the site and our outreach activities more inclusive for years just by following best practices, etc. But we are all on site, primarily able-bodied individuals, and we just lack the, however strong you think your empathy may be as an able-bodied individual to imagine what's needed from another group, it does not compare to actually getting direct feedback from them. So we worked with the National Council of the Blind Ireland, who came on site, for instance, and did a site review for us. And we were delighted to realize that it is actually much easier than we realized to convert existing resources into resources for blind people or for people who require sign language support. But it's actually much trickier to make the site itself more accessible, which is something I think that is often overlooked. So simple things like being able to navigate the site where your activity is taking place is something that people can sometimes overlook when trying to make an outreach activity accessible. And that was incredibly informative for us. They did a complete walkthrough of our site, highlighted where the areas were that seemed mundane to us, but were actually very difficult for a blind person to navigate. It was a little bit expensive to get done, but it was definitely worth the investment, and in the long run, it will pay off because it makes sure that you don't invest in continuing to do things the wrong way. So you will save money. So some of the resources that we had built that are tactile and accessible included a tactile model of Newgrange and of the Leviathan telescope here in Ireland. Those models themselves were quite expensive, and if we hadn't consulted with NCBI before making them, we would have spent an awful lot of money on something that actually wouldn't have been usable by the target audience. So that it was only maybe 10% of the cost of actually producing the models to do a consultation. So I would just absolutely recommend anybody who's trying to do anything in terms of inclusive astronomy, do consult with these groups before you venture too far down the path of, and I appreciate it, it's not as easy for some people to afford that initial outlay, but it will pay dividends in the long run.
Thank you, Rob. And I would just add that that's important regardless of the community that you're working with, that you collaborate and co-create whatever materials you're creating or you want to make with those communities so that you have all of the information you could possibly need, not just people with visual or motor or cognitive disabilities, but various cultures that you might want to work with if you're doing things with Indigenous communities. You need their perspectives in order to do it right. So yeah, I think that's a very, very important point to make. So thank you.
Yeah, there is another reason why it's important to involve those communities, those associations, it's because they can be like the link to the respective communities. Because if you prepare an inclusive activity, then the next problem is to reach people with disability and have them participate. So if you work with these associations, usually they advertise in their community, they kind of sponsor the activity, and you have more participation.
Yes, that's very important, getting people involved. Rob, go ahead.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that one of the coolest learnings we got from the different groups that we worked with was across the board. It seems that if you design with them, it becomes less about having a regular version of an activity and a separate version that is for people who have different needs. If you do it right, everybody can be accommodated from the start. And I think one of the coolest ways that this is actually materialized in day to day was maybe 5-6 years ago. I can remember if I wanted to go watch a movie with friends, they would get annoyed if it was a foreign film because like, oh, I have to read subtitles. Whereas young people today won't watch Netflix unless you can turn on the subtitles, because even though they don't need them, they just prefer to have them there. So they've just become normalized. They're the kind of thing that used to turn people off, but now they expect them. And even major TV shows like Echo and the Quiet Place have a lot of American Sign Language integrated into them. And people actually enjoy seeing how these different concepts are communicated by a different language or a different culture. So it's actually just additive. So some people might think, oh, if there is an Irish Sign Language interpreter in front of the astronomy show that we're playing in our theater, that might distract people who don't need it. But actually, you see that people are actually fascinated to see what the Irish Sign Language term for a planet is, or for, you know, the stars, etc. So just design it for everybody from the get-go, and then you don't have to design something separate for each group.
Does anybody have anything they'd like to add to that?
And just that it's very true. I fully agree. And
Yeah.
Actually, working on tools for people with visual impairments, it turned out that these tools are also great for schools, because when you deal with the 3D concept, things moving in space, a 3D model that is built for people to touch is also very effective for people who can see, to understand how things move in the sky.
Yes, this concept of universal design for learning, right? If you design for people at the margins, then inevitably everybody's going to be included in. Are there any other updates from anyone? Any projects you've been working on that you're excited about? Yes, please, go ahead, Danushka.
Hi, Katie. Hello, I'm the National Outreach Coordinator for Sri Lanka. Reason I joined this meeting because I'm currently working in the UK. I'm doing my PhD here at the University of Central Lancashire, and I'm working on a very cool project where I will be building a CubeSat. So there was a bit of a not much work during the last year. We had Sri Lanka is undergoing an economic crisis at the moment. And so as a result, there were only few national outreach coordinator organized activities. There were a lot of economical barriers we have to pass through. But this year, we are planning to be more active. One of the main thing we are planning is our theme this year is astronomy for economic development, because it's a timely topic for Sri Lanka at the moment. So I'm working on developing a course for young adults based on CubeSats. So the idea is to introduce space science to young adults. So at the moment, we are going through the correct pedagogy and everything, and designing a coursework with the support of here, the university itself. So that's the main thing we are doing at the moment, and we are planning. Last month I met National Outreach Coordinator Pakistan, Hira Fatima, who is a good friend of mine, and with her we are planning on working on a project related to astrotourism. In Sri Lanka, there is a potential that we can use astrotourism as a way of getting income. That's a second project we are working on, and in the meantime, we are planning on extending our NOC team. So I'm in a discussion with the former NOC to organize a NOC team. That's the update from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Danushka. Good luck with your CubeSat. That sounds fun. David, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to call your attention on a thing that I forgot to say during my presentation. One of our main projects in the NOC team in Spain for the following years will be related to the Iberian trio of eclipses. You may remember we have the Iberian trio of solar eclipses. They will be in the years 26, 27, and 28. We have started preparing a lot of activities related to this. And the comment I forgot to include in my presentation is that we will build up a specific working team to include inclusive astronomy activities for the observation and also for general outreach related to those events. This piece of information was lacking in my presentation.
Thank you. That's a great opportunity to bring in. I know they have those, what are they, light sound I don't know, machines. That doesn't sound like the right word, but they convert what you can see with light into something that you can experience audibly. I wonder if that's something that
you know, these people with so much experience, Amelia and Enrique, they have a lot of many ideas. So many that probably we will not be able to do all of them, but they have a lot of ideas about how to practice inclusive astronomy in relation to the eclipses. So we will do interesting things. Well, they will do, because I am not related to those actions and I am not qualified for them, but there will be many interesting things in the following years related to the eclipses in this field.
That's very interesting. Yes. The US is very focused on that right now, on getting resources together for folks to enjoy, everybody to enjoy solar eclipses for the big one that's going across the North American continent.
Actually, if there are any good solar eclipse resources that are available in Spanish language or that could be translated into Spanish, that would be really good to add to the IPS website, because we're very aware that the eclipse goes through Mexico as well. But at the moment, all the resources we have are in English language. So let me know if you have anything good.
Thank you for the link. I will follow and check it.
Is there anything else anybody would like to talk about? Anything they've been working on or will work on this year?
I have a small presentation about Romania.
Of course, please go ahead.
Okay, let's share the screen. Okay, so this is our country, located in the eastern part of Europe. And we have some activities here about public astronomy, like Astrofest. Astrofest, it's a huge festival for public. organized by amateur astronomy clubs within Romania, and also by all the citizen science magazine like Science and Technique. And we had the audience around 5,000 of participants. Another one is Romanian Science Festival in a few towns in Romania, also designed for young people, with a lot of participants. Only in Pitești we had around 10,000 participants. About Asteroid Day on June 30, we organized public events with live transmitting on Facebook, organized by Astronomical Association. Among the most notable one, the program collaboration between Astroclubul Bucharest, the oldest and probably the largest amateur astronomy club in Romania, the planetology group led by Dr. Marcel Popescu from Astronomical Institute of Romanian Academy and Geology Museum. Also, on October 29 in 2023, with occasion of partial eclipse of the this is a mistake. It's a solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse. It's not on the moon. A big event was organized in Bucharest to observe this eclipse with the participation. Oh, sorry. It's a moon. It's a moon. Moon eclipse. Was a huge, absolutely huge event with more than 40,000 people. Was amazing how many people came. Who could see the live on the huge screen the phases of the eclipse explained by the members of Astronomy Association. So was outside in a park located next to the lake in the northern part of Bucharest, and was a very successful activity about this moon eclipse. These are a few images from our public events. You can see here one of the telescope that we use for 400 millimeters, 40 centimeters. Here it's activities with the children. We have a special section for children involving in astronomy, with a lot of specific activities for them. Asteroid Day, and here people involved in these activities. About citizen science projects, we have program collaboration. A project organized by ESA about Haken exoplanet with participants under 18 years old. And this team was won the project prize winner. And also another collaboration, a program collaboration led to the discovery of several near-Earth asteroids in the framework of the project. Parasol it's called. Data parallel detection of solar system object and space debris. Various occultation of trans-Neptunian objects observed from all over Romania, various campaigns organized also by Dr. Marcel Popescu. And a series of amateur astronomers have designed and realized private astronomical observatories controlled entirely via the internet, with which observations are made of different things like variable stars, exoplanets, nebulous galaxies, and even spectroscopic studies that are completed with scientific articles published in specialized magazines. So also we organized different training courses for public related to astronomy, both for children and for adults. It seems that these kind of courses have a great success that increase from year to year. Among those, the example is about the lectures organized by Astroclubul Bucharest for 59 years in a row. So for many years, this club is organizing this kind of training courses, and you see in the picture the people in amphitheater looking for this course. Also, there are organized various astronomy camps quite often, and expedition to the big telescope in the Canary Islands in Spain, a periodical organized in Romania for people interested in this kind of things. So that's all from my side. If you have any question, I'm happy to respond to you about activities in Romania.
Thank you, Marian, for sharing that. It looks like you have a lot of really interesting activities going on. I have a question actually about your Hack an Exoplanet project.
Yes.
Lisa, what was the result of that? Where is it going now?
The team observed an exoplanet and measured some parameters of this exoplanet about the period of revolution, the mass, and other things about this exoplanet. And they won a prize from ESA. And the prize consists of a Zoom meeting with a Nobel Prize winner,
Wow.
which discovered the first exoplanet back in '93. It's a Switzerland guy, Didier Queloz, I suppose the name, if I'm not wrong. And was a meeting, a Zoom meeting with this kind of questions and answers put by the young people. So, and I have to underline that these people, all of them, like 4 people who was involved, all of them, they have below 18, so around 17, 16 years old. Of course, they were led by a professional astronomer in order to guide them to this achievement. But practically they did the job, and they deserve this prize of speaking directly with a Nobel Prize winner, which discovered the first exoplanet in the world.
That must have been an incredible opportunity for them. And it's amazing that they
Yes.
were under 18.
And of course, after this, they are infected with the virus of astronomy, let's say. And now they are part of different clubs of astronomy within Romania, and they are continuously involved in astronomy and to learn and future in order to participate and to follow university in astronomy and in physics for their future. So practically they are already ours in terms of have already this hobby of astronomy in the blood.
All right. Maria, do you want to go ahead and get us started with the work you've been doing?
Yeah, sure. I'm thinking of different approaches, so I might not even share a screen right now. Just to begin, so I'm Maria Fernanda, and I'm the NOC from Chile. And in Chile, I have initiatives that I've led, and there are a lot of inclusive astronomy initiatives. So we have an inclusive astronomy group, which at the beginning it was about 20 institutions. Now we have more because, Chile has a lot of telescopes. So we have a lot of people doing astronomy. We're a small country, but we're very enthusiastic. But most of those projects concentrate on what we call the kind of the obvious barrier and the biggest, which is astronomy is really visual, right? So we want to use more senses than that, because that leaves out anyone with visual impairments of any kind, right? So we have a lot of those projects going on with different approaches, but we also have projects that deal with the inclusion of the deaf communities, which are seriously overlooked everywhere because it's not the obvious thing to look for. Because unfortunately, in Latin America, at least, which is the culture that I know, we have very segregated deaf communities, right? Because we don't include them as much. We don't see sign language going on. We're not taught sign language when we're young, right? So it's like they are walking around in a foreign language country all day long for the entire lives. So I want to know, just like a quick show of hands, is this true in your reality? Like, are you more comfortable with, I don't know, communicating with people that need sign language to communicate or something like that? I don't know. Just quick show of hands, who feels comfortable approaching a deaf person and communicating? Or great. So I see one hand going up. Great. So one of the things I can share, and I invite all of you, I might bore you with this, means that has heard me talk about this, and I think a couple of you as well, but a few best practices on how to include the deaf community that we've learned throughout the years. We have a project called Breaking the Barriers, which we're very proud of. It basically it was a project that would secure money beforehand, and then we would approach people and ask them, hey, do you want to include sign language interpretation in your activity that we know you're doing, or in the next outreach activity that you want to do? And we would go and say, okay, we have the money to cover it. Go ahead, find it, try to figure it out. And then try to find interpreters in your own town, in your own region, because, you know, Chile is maybe you don't know, Chile is a very long and thin country, and I'm kind of in the middle, upper part middle, right? So it's not easy. It's not the same reality in every city. So we would offer them money to include this. So that's how we started. And we learned a few things, and then COVID hit. So it was a lot easier to convince people to include interpreters because their activities were online, they were recorded, and they were not getting discouraged by the non-appearance of the non-shows of any deaf person to an event that they had worked so much to get an interpreter for. So because it was online and it was recorded, then people were more enthusiastic to do it. And then they realized that the deaf people that were looking at these online streamings and everything, they were really happy because this was the first time that they got to participate in live astronomy talks. And who doesn't love astronomy, right? So we all fell in love with astronomy at some point, right? That's why we're here. So they felt the same thing, but there were no content for them. So this was like an explosion of content related to astronomy for them. So it was very good. And people started doing that more in person when we got out again out of our homes, right? So we're very proud, but we also know that there's a lot of work to do. And this is why I fill out the form. And I wanted to talk to you about this because we realize this is not the norm. We're a very small country, so we're able to do it. And our deaf communities are getting engaged more in science because of the other hat that I wear when I'm not a NOC, right? So we have a project that includes, that promotes STEM vocations in women, okay? Basically in girls and young women, but also it includes forming the professionals, women professional in STEM careers as well. So now we have a couple of deaf students that joined that program that they're seeing astronomy and they're seeing these programs that are getting, they're getting to know those things because they've been approached and they know that this is something that is available for them. And we're very proud and also very sad that when we had like the press conference for our black hole, you know, the images for the black hole in the center of the Milky Way, the only mainstreaming from one of the agencies and institutions that had to do with that, the only one that included sign language interpretation was the Chilean transmission. So that was good, but also bad because, you know, with very big money, very big, you know, sort of inclusive agencies were involved, and none of them did. So we know we have a lot of work to do. So I just want to talk for 2 more minutes about how important it is to just go ahead and try to do it in your own communities. Our realities are different. The sizes and the approachativeness of our deaf communities are different. In our case, they were very defensive. It was really hard to approach them at first. So our interpreters were the biggest link and our biggest allies. So if you want to start doing this, reach out to them, talk to them, because they are the link, the literal link between you and your future deaf audiences. And don't be afraid to ask them. And also, in our case, the community was left behind and left out for so long, and they were being used a little bit as tokens. You know, they got invited to events, and they were now interpreters for them sometimes. So it's like, yeah, that you get invited to, I don't know, the most foreign language you can think of. I don't know, I could think of Chinese or Russian. For me, it's very foreign, right? And you got invited to this event, and it's all spoken in that very foreign language for you. You have no idea what's going on. So why did they invite you, right? To begin with, if you know you're not going to understand anything. So, so we have a lot of good practices. I don't want to say best practices because we're still learning, but good practices that we learned, and that even our interpreters and the deaf community that works with us has been sharing with us. And one of the most important things is that subtitles do not replace sign language. Okay, because I don't in Spanish speaking countries, you know, we are very vocal and phonetic, and you make the letters sound out when you're learning how to read, right? So you go and make the sound of each letter, and then you put them together, and you put together a word, right? So you cannot do that if you cannot hear. So for them, Spanish, at least in my country, it's a foreign language. It's a second language, or, you know, a very new one for them. So they don't know how to read as fast as subtitles go. So they're not equivalent. Okay. So when you're thinking, okay, so now YouTube has these automatic captions, we're done, that's it. Yeah, but no, especially if you're dealing with children. Okay. With adults, it might be different because they had more time to learn. Okay, so just bear that in mind when you're doing it, and also put yourself in their shoes, right? When you're doing an activity, think that they need the interpretation the minute they show up at your activity. Sometimes, at least in our cases, sometimes we have activities that have like workshops going on over there. We have talks going on the main stage or whatever, and you have different things. They need to be able to access everything. You don't want the one interpreter to be where the talk is, you know, because what if you want to open the door, every door right there for them. And also don't only have one, because it takes a lot of mind. When you have the simultaneous translation, right, in meetings and so on, there's not only one person doing that, right? Because it takes a lot of your brain, and in their case, a lot of your upper body strength to work for a very long time. So just put yourselves in their shoes, and you'll be fine. And if you want any kind of insight on that, I'm very happy to talk about it for a very long time. So I will stop right now. And but yeah, in Chile, we have a lot of other inclusive outreach activities going on, and a lot of initiatives, and we're very, very varied. So yeah, I'll stop right there. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Giuseppe, do you want to ask something?
No, yes, I just want to say that, you know, this is great. It's very important what you said, Maria Fernanda. I fully agree with that. And from our experience, we found very important to involve the interpreters, as you said, or if there are regional associations of deaf people, to involve them, because they can be the liaison with the community that you were mentioning, so that, you know, people participate, otherwise they don't know. And I would also be very interested to see your good practices, to see if there is anything we can you know, integrate on our document and maybe put things together. Maybe there is something new. good practices can always be improved. They're never best.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, we can like have it written down and people jump in. And as I said, it's something that it's very different culturally. And in our case, we started trying to communicate with the associations for with deaf people. And as I said, like they were completely put off by our approach because everybody would like, oh, they would approach them and then not treat them right. So that's why we started with interpreters, and that's they got the word of mouth going, right? Because they would contact their deaf links and friends and connections, and they would show up. So yeah, of course, I mean, you have to do that, but in our case, yeah, it was not the easiest way to
we're a bit more lucky in Italy, but also the word of mouth was very important with the interpreters. Okay, so I don't know if you have my email to share the good practices or if anything written that you can send me, that would be great.
Sure. Yeah, let's we can talk through email and pinpoint that so that it's very clear. Because yeah, in my head it's clear, but it's different when someone else reads it, right?
Thanks.
Does anybody else have any thoughts for? Oh, Edwin, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to ask because this is very new for me, and I congratulate you, Maria Fernanda. It sounds really, really amazing, that type of work. I was wondering, I don't know if Chile has the same problem. In Costa Rica, not all of the deaf community know sign language. So I wanted to ask you, how does that work in Chile, and have you had any challenges regarding that?
Yeah, definitely. But unfortunately, those people are harder to reach. Culturally, we were, you know, maybe this is historically and maybe this is common everywhere, but we would try to fix the problem, right? They were deaf, so that was a problem that needed to be fixed. Okay, so first of all, kids a few decades back were not taught sign language at all, deaf kids, because they wanted them to learn how to read lips, because that's what they were encounter out there, right? Not people moving their hands. So they were really coerced and I don't know how to say it, like really diminished in their sense of belonging. Now we're getting a change. Now sign language is accepted as a different tongue, like a different language in our like official language. So public services are supposed to have it, supposed because it doesn't work all the time. But you know, yeah, America's right. This is our meeting. So and so yes, we do have that problem, but the way we approached it is just go to the biggest group we have, which is the group that does use it, that does use sign language. And that's how it's gotten out there. Like we have bigger problems that them just not knowing astronomy, right? Like they don't know more than that. So yes, so yes, we started with that. We know we're missing them, and sometimes we've done, so one activity that might be harder to do is to have stargazing parties with deaf people, because you need them to see the hands. So try to start with moonlit nights or glow in the dark globes. That also works. And have them out there. Sometimes they don't show up because they are not used to having these activities open for them. So just be patient. They will come. If you build it, they will come. Yeah, you know that movie. It will happen. It will take some time, but it will happen. And it will show also those people that don't use sign language, that or maybe they are against it, like the hearing surrounding the deaf person that does not know sign language will help them to visualize it. So we can also help to normalize it. And that was our goal, to normalize the inclusion of sign language, to have people miss it when the interpreter is not there. We've made some progress in that sense. Still a long way to go.
Thank you.
I have a question also. Yeah, and it's very nice the work that you are doing. I'm very glad to hear that. We are in Puerto Rico. In our activities of astronomy, we have integrated the deaf people, although we have been thinking on that for a long time, but we have been very shy on that because we don't have like a structure to start this. We were thinking, first of all, we have some public talks that we have, and we were thinking just to have an interpreter that come to the talk. I don't know if live interpretation, because we record that and also can be put in the recording. That's the first thing that we were thinking. But
Yeah.
I wonder if in the case of you, when you work with the deaf people, you are having activity for children, for adults, do you specialize? How you manage that, the different age of the people that you receive? You have particular activity for them? How you do that?
So we usually don't do more accommodation for them than just the interpreters in the different activities. So we don't have, because it's a bit different when we're thinking about, I don't know, blind people, right? So the approach, the entire approach needs to be different. In this case, you need to work a little bit with the interpreters so that they know the activities beforehand, so they can prepare, okay? Because in our case, since astronomy was a new subject for them, it was a new subject for the interpreters, as well as for the deaf community. So sometimes they didn't know the sign, and sometimes the sign did not exist because the concept was not being taught, If you don't have a word for it, it doesn't exist, right? So yes, so I don't know, black hole. So we would explain to the interpreters first. So the interpreters, now that we work with them for a long time, like in different regions, we have some that know a lot of astronomy at this point. So they can just explain it when there's a concept and things. So that's the accommodation that you might want to prepare, okay, the interpreters. But then in the rest of the senses, like they can participate in anything, any age they can participate in any activity. You just need to figure out where you're standing, and if you're gonna be, this is true also if you wanna like do a lecture, right? If you're gonna be writing on the board and talking, for them it's gonna be harder, for the interpreter to see you, to hear you and everything. So you wanna write something, then turn around and move your hands and gesticulate and say the things you wanna say. So that's that kind of an accommodation, but not the actual activities. So my recommendation for you is to, yes, start with the talks, with the recorded ones, add the interpretation we can talk about how to best do it, but like bigger is better than smaller. So think about that when you're recording as well, so that you don't cover important things and so on.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else want to ask Maria something or add to the conversation? Okay, thank you, Maria. Next up, Camilo, do you want to give your talk about the path of the golden ring?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Here is Eduardo and Edwin that were in this project. So my name is Camilo. I'm the vice of Colombia. I'm going to share my screen. It's possible, no? And I'm going to share my slides. Let me see. Here. Okay. So this is the project. Was the path of the golden ring. Spanish, el camino, el anillo dorado. In Portuguese, maybe Eduardo can tell better.
Sorry, Camilo, what
yes,
do
you
want to
wanna
mention?
say in Portuguese?
The title. Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
O Caminho do Anel Dourado.
Oh, okay. Because the idea was doing the project in the 3 languages. So this is the information of the NOCs and the PCNOCs of Colombia, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, and Brazil. So there was, we received a grant to do this project from the EU. And it was part of the NOCs funding scheme, 2022 program. We did many products, and there was one that was thinking in the for inclusive, astronomy to blind people. This is the general information of the project that we joined. All of these countries, Colombia, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Brazil. The idea was to describe how this eclipse that was occurred in October 14 of 2023 that crossed all of these countries, and we did some material. For example, to prepare the eclipse, we did some videos that you can see in these links. I can put on the message later, and also the book that we deliver before to the eclipse and spread out for all of the communities. So here are the videos that we did in each country that we talk about 3 topics. One was the path of the eclipse, how to see the eclipse in the best way. Also the astronomy in the ancient cultures in each country. And finally, some toolkits for how to see the eclipse to blind people. So there was all of the videos, also the recommendations to see the eclipse in the best way. And here you can see the path of the eclipse. So here. And of course, all the authors and the support to the AU and our office, the AO. Here there is the map of the countries that were part of the initiative. And here is we impact 10,000 people around it in virtual area and in presence activities. So we did this announcement in different media and social media with all of the course groups in the countries. There was this one of the activities that we joined with NASA. And they have this tactile material to blind people. And also we develop with them the trajectory of the path of the eclipse in South America, in Central America. And we work with blind people. We select from some institutions, and the idea were explain them, and also explain some astronomical concepts related with distance, and they can understand what is an eclipse and what is going to be in this October 14. So it was very interesting. This is, I was in one of the activities, and for them, they really enjoyed the activity because it was new for them, because they have, these centers have some activities for blind people, but the astronomy is not unusual. So it was the first time that many of these guys could enjoy astronomy with the material that we developed. Here there is a picture in the city of Cali, in Colombia, and we also delivered some classes for the eclipse, and of course explaining the details of the eclipse. Here these are activities in Honduras. You can see there was more than 3,000 people attended in different cities, Tegucigalpa, La Ceiba, and Juticalpa. Also, there were 6,000 people that followed the eclipse virtually. Here we have the information of Nicaragua. You can see all the guys enjoying the eclipse. Some pictures taken at the time. Here was the case of Nicaragua. So you can see how people could enjoy the activity. Also in Costa Rica, I don't know if Edwin could talk a little bit about it.
Yes, just very basically, we made some information for people to know how the eclipse will be seen in each part of our country. and recommendations about eye protection and everything. We made activities in 4 different parts of the country. It's not that big of a country, so with 4 places you can reach a lot of people. And if you go to the next one, we have, yeah. So here we had a small team in one of the sections where the photographies were taken of how the eclipse was seen in one of the best places to see the eclipse in our country. Limon is a place outside of the capital, so we took advantage about the fact that Limon was a place where the eclipse was well visible to try to impact the vision and inspire people with astronomy. So we also did a workshop with children before the eclipse to tell them about it. And then we had a couple of telescopes with solar filters and everything like that, and we gave the glasses for free. And in the capital, in San Jose, there was hundreds and hundreds of people. Besides the planetarium, we had the telescopes and everything. But yeah.
So there was also in Panama, so there are some pictures. And here there is the information from Brazil. I don't know if Eduardo would like to talk something about it.
Yeah, sure. So the main thing that we did here was a live stream coordinated by Josina, who is our vice NOC. So she was, the path of the eclipse here in Brazil was more to the north of the country and more north and northeast, taking still a huge part of the country. And she contacted like many people over this path, mainly amateur astronomers who would be sharing what they were seeing with us, with everybody. So she coordinated this live stream, and she was then connected with people, spread all over the path. And there was also a collaboration with other amateur astronomers and other people from other countries. And it was like about 6 hours, more or less, of live stream. And I think she was in the final place in Brazil where the eclipse was visible, and this live stream was visualized by about 2 million people. So it was quite a huge thing here, and many people joined the live stream live. It was a really nice event. And of course, there were many other events spread all over those places. And I attended one in the left picture here in Maranhão. So we had also some workshops, some events there in the city. And then we went to the place where the eclipse was best visible. But there were other people promoting other kind of activities everywhere. So it was quite a big event here, and very nice.
So as conclusions, no, we increase the network of NOCs. We did this works in 3 languages: Spanish, English, and Portuguese. And also we did these activities also with professional and amateur connections. And this is our final report with all of the activity. So thank you so much for your attention. So.
Thank you so much, Camilo. This is such a cool project. And I know you've emailed me about putting the booklet that you created on our website, and I have a spot for it on our new website. I just need to put it on our old one so that there's some coverage there. But does anybody have any thoughts or questions for Camilo or Edwin or Eduardo?
Camilo?
Sí.
Hi,
Yeah.
Emiliana from Argentina. I'm just curious. 2 things that you mentioned. You mentioned one thing that is about to you related with the original communities. It could be.
Yes, with the ancient astronomy. It was the idea also to recover some information for each country, also to the eclipses. There was, for
The
example,
historical one or something
historical
related
from the
with,
indigenous, more
yes,
of them.
the history. Okay. And how about the experience with
It
that?
was in our case was very interesting. There was a place that is in the Amazonas, so in the Equator, it's called the Chiribiquete. It was a place that people, I mean, indigenous there were there in 2,000 years ago, and they represent, for example, the Orion constellations as the jaguar. So the jaguar moving in the sky.
Yes, yes.
And the Milky Way, from there was the anaconda.
Wow.
It's like, no? So it was very
Related with the
interesting.
animals.
And they were the pictograph, no petrograph
Yes.
on it. And you can see also there's some representation of the eclipses. Also
Yes.
the
Oh,
sun
good.
and the
Really
moon.
nice.
Yes, and in each country, I mean, I don't know.
I think this is really important because those are astronomical history recorders taking
Yes.
data of astronomical phenomena. And the other
Yes.
things that I want to ask you is, when there are some blind people that could not see anything at all, not even difference the day or the night, but the majority of the blind people could feel some slightly light or something like this, so they recognize that it's night or that it's dark or light or something like this. During the eclipse, what was the feeling of these blind people about the darkness? Or some of them could feel the eclipse in that way.
It was related with the temperature, because also
Okay.
in the skin. I mean, in
Yes.
the infrared. I mean, it's very interesting.
Yes,
The thermal,
yes.
the thermal
No,
infrared, because they are more sensitive in the other sense. So
Of course, yes.
the skin have the both sides,
Wow.
no? The
Yes, yes.
piezoelectric effect, that is when you push something, the tactile
Yes.
thing, and the radiation, no? The thermal,
Yeah.
I mean, the
No,
infrared, the
no,
thermal infrared.
nice. Nice.
So
Thank you
it
so much.
was, yeah, they told me that, actually. I mean,
Okay.
it was a comment from them when I tried to explain it, and I say, okay, and they said that. They said, I
Yes,
remember that
okay.
the temperature decrease and later
Wow.
increase. Yeah.
Okay. Really, really nice work. I congratulate all the people involved.
It was really beautiful. Also, I mean, because they we have this degree of this level diagram on our in this part of the fingers, that we have this
Yes,
diagram
in the
superficial
tactile,
in the
yes.
tactile, yes.
Yes.
So they really feel that. I mean, for them it's like
Wow.
10 times that for
Yes.
us. It's really
Yes.
interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No, a pleasure.
Anybody else have any thoughts? Camila?
May I ask something? I think I saw what I don't know if I saw correctly in one of your images. Did you use the light sound device as well or not?
The light?
The light sound? No?
No.
No? Okay.
No, it was
No,
just
then I saw it wrong.
material. Yeah, was vegetable. There was a lamp. Actually, it was a lamp, infrared. Yeah, there was a lamp, but it was for other effects. But yes, but more were tactile.
Okay. Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
I thought I saw the device that turns, the intensity.
there was a lamp. No, yes,
Oh, okay.
yes, but but it was part of the other project that other university that
Okay.
developed this material. I mean, we joined when we did the activity with this community, so they bring other devices.
Okay.
And we bring the tactile thing too. So I put the information of the project if you wanna see it, and there is the contacts there. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there is the information contact, but I can put my email, maybe. So, I mean, the WhatsApp, or, I mean, you can, oh, the better way is my LinkedIn. Do you have LinkedIn? So if you put LinkedIn, I think it should be better to communicate. So I'm going to put also my LinkedIn, and I can join the comments to the other NOCs, because we created a WhatsApp group, so we are in touch in this way. The link. Let me see. Okay, no, there was a problem. Let me see here with the link. Okay, I need to check. Let me see. Yeah. I need to check the link. Okay, maybe this one is going to work. Let me see this one. The last one, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Cesar.
This is really great. This is such an interesting project, and I'm so glad that it worked out so well. So we have about a half hour left in our session that we can use or not, how you all feel you'd like. If there's anything that anybody would like to talk about that they've been working on in their own countries, or anything related to inclusive astronomy or not, this is your time.
I just want to mention that periodically we arrange webinars to allow people to share their experience with the inclusion in outreach. So I heard many interesting stories. If you would like also to present at one of these webinars, it's like 15 minutes each, that would be very valuable, and it will be a pleasure to host you. So just let me know, and we will schedule you in one of the next webinars.
And I just wanted to say very quickly that we have tried, whenever we have like different activities, for example, the exoplanets ones that we have done with the IAU or things like that. The university has contact with a lot of our Native American or autochthonous regions here in Costa Rica. So if you have like contact with universities or things like that have that facility to have like someone that is an expert that can talk to you and even bring you to some community to include them in the activities or include their knowledge and the cosmogony is very recommended, and in some cases it's very easy to access it from a certain university or something like that.
Yeah, especially going through an organization that already has like a trusted relationship with those communities facilitates
Exactly.
things well. And yeah, thank you for that. And
Okay, I don't know if this is the right place to comment this, but I want to know that our country, as I think you already know, is passing through a really huge economic crisis. And with the new government nowadays, our scientific institutions are in risk because they don't want to. It's a different way to do things. So they are cutting a lot of budgets, especially on science and education. And those cuts are happening now. So our country is huge. We need money to do a lot of things, but our salary is on risk right now. So it could be really, it will be really challenge for us to try to do things, our work, and include outreach. So we are talking with Andrea, with the other NOC, to try to do as much as we can, but we both think that it will be not as good as we want or as huge as we want. It is really challenge. I don't know. We have 200% the the prices going up in 1 year. So we are trying to do our best, but the situation is not in our country. The situation was never the best, but especially nowadays with the science is really heavy. So this is our comment for this occasion.
May I comment on that very
Yes,
quickly?
sure.
Just to say, Lena, that I know exactly your feeling because we have passed through a very similar situation until a couple of years ago. We had a
Yes.
terrible period here, and science and
Yes.
education was like attacked daily.
Mhm. Yes.
Now the situation is a little bit better. Of course, the disaster was too big, so we have to climb step to be able to do something again. But at least I think that we are putting this to the
Yes.
the
You have
trash of
some
history.
stability now. You are step below, but you have some stability. We are going down like this in this
Yes.
way,
Yeah, I
really
know.
fast.
Yeah, and of course, I know, yeah. But that's also to say
Sorry.
that we are neighboring countries. If there's anything that we can help from here, as NOC or as colleague, you just let us know, and then we do whatever we can do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And one way that I start to thinking now with these things at, okay, we can help and we can we have a lot of ideas, but no one is possible to get real in some point. So I think that one possibility is to help other NOCs with our knowledge and the good things. There are a lot of professionals here that want to share all the things that they know with the community. So it will be a good resource nowadays. But thank you so much, Eduardo.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So in this case, Cesare, didn't see you for a long time, Eduardo as well. So nice to see you all. In Portugal, we are developing this website. It's almost done practically. It's been a while since we started, and it's supposed to be the NOC website that will compile all the information in Portuguese for Portugal in any scientifically and also not scientifically. I mean, it will be the hub of astronomy in Portugal. And we have everything there, sections for events, section for everything. I can talk with this another time, but if Ileana, right? If you want us to share the template with you already done, we can actually do, and we can share the template with everyone here, of course. So it's basically you have the template, is just to adapt and you have a hub page for your own country for the NOCs. So
Thank you so much.
Just that. Okay.
And congratulations for your website. It's really, really
No.
hard to have one of these, and it's important.
It's not ready yet, but I think we have everything there. So that's the important thing. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Joao, could you put the link of your website here?
It's still it's not
Okay.
public yet, okay?
Okay.
But we will have it public very soon. So the strategy is we are going to invite every research center, every amateur astronomers and associations to nominate one person that will give access to the website. So the person can go there, work on their own web page and their own events. So everything is like equal to everyone. Okay, but once we are in that phase, it will be next month. Okay, I can totally share, send to all, or send to Kelly, and Kelly, if you can send to all, this can be done, and you can check and see the website. Okay, it will be temporarily down. It will be under construction, but we can give you access just to take a look. Okay, or maybe one day we can have a meeting and I just show the website and explain everything to everyone. If that's that will be okay.
Oh, may I also add something else that I was forgetting? We are planning another live in celebrating the project Women Girls in Astronomy. So from time to time, the girls in our team here, they run a live event, which is a conversation with an astronomer from the country. And well, usually we have 2 or 3 invited people to talk about their path, you know, if they struggle about being just because being human, or if they face anything about their trajectory as a woman in astronomy. And this is quite nice and very sometimes very also emotional talks. It's really beautiful to see, really nice to see. Sometimes a bit hard as well, because we see, you know, their stories that are not really beautiful, but ways to overcome some issues. And the next one, the date is not settled yet, but it will be very soon. I can put on Basecamp if someone wants to follow. It's in Portuguese, yeah, of course, so a bit limited for all for everybody, but still a very nice project. We have already done this a few times, and all videos are saved in our YouTube channel. So yeah, just this.
That sounds like an interesting project you have. I would really like to see that. You know, I'm sure YouTube can help me out in translating it, so there should be no problem. If you want to share that on Basecamp.
Yeah.
May I have some words?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. Well, my name is Victor. I'm from Peru, and the NOC from Peru. I would like to say that actually every South American countries have the same reality. In the past year, we have a lot of political and economic problems also. And so that's one of the problems that we had to really, because we consider even problems politicals inside universities. It was really, really hard for us. Well, but the one that I would like to say is, actually, I would like to inform you that as a NOC, I'm involved in one project. It's quite interesting. We are shooting a documentary film about ancient solar observatories in Peru and our most modern observatories in Peru, solar observatories also. That project is called Solar in Spanish. And we have just begun shooting on December on December solstice last year. So we hope that we will have this the final results by the end of this year. And this abstract we are going to present, we're going to send it to the next CAP, so the CAP 2024. Well, I hope this is one kind of, this is experimental documentary film, so it's not a traditional documentary film. It's some kind of audiovisual without words, or only with sounds, natural sounds with movement. So in our team, we are 3 professional astronomers involved in this project, together with some audiovisual artists, and we hope everything will be okay by the end of the year. So I hope you can enjoy it when everything will be ready. Thank you.
That sounds very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. So you said it should be done at the end of this year?
We're already shooting that documentary film because we are expecting to have recordings on solstice and equinoxes. So through the year. So I hope, if there's no problem, because we have also the support, financial support, even for our Minister of Culture. So they wanted us to have everything ready by November of this year. So we have to try to do as quickly as we can. So when everything is ready, of course, we will share with all the world this kind of.
Please do, yeah. Congratulations on that. That's a very cool project.
Gracias.
Yeah, and I would like to thank you all also just, you know, for the support you're offering for Ileana. I think that's really the point of these sessions, is that, you know, we have all these resources and similar issues that we faced in various countries, and there's always something more that we can do to help each other out. So thank you for embodying that today. Does anybody else want to bring anything up or talk about anything that they've been working on?
I wanted to mention something. I wanted to comment to Ileana. I will be visiting Argentina in April because there is a meeting, Friend of Friends, for astrophysics. We are doing some
in course.
That I will go there, and then I hopefully will try to see if we can meet somehow, that we can talk about doing.
Yes,
That will be
sure.
nice.
That would be really nice. Let's get in touch by email and arrange.
Yeah,
of course.
Perfect. Then one thing I wanted also to comment, that here in Puerto Rico, we don't have any working planetarium. And then last year we bought a portable one that we are making that to set everything and train people to use it and to move around the island, because we had one on university, have a small one, but it got broken for the earthquake that we have in 2019. And after that, we had the COVID, and they hadn't repaired that planetarium. Then we have non-planetary, then we got this portable one, and hopefully this year we will have that working, and we will be able to bring that all over the island to have really the children to visit it and have that experience. And we are happy for that, but we're still going in the process to really have the people trained to use it and to really have the show to the children, only that we are targeting with that. And that's something I wanted to share. We are just working on that. Hopefully this year we really will come out, and that's something that we are looking forward to having really. I just wanted to share that with you.
That's really great, Myra, that you guys were able to fund something like that. I will just mention that this year for 100 Hours of Astronomy, we're going to be focusing on planetariums. So that would be a really cool opportunity to show off what you guys have been able to do.
So just wanted to share a quick update about a project that we've been doing under the funding scheme from OAO. Just let me share my screen. Okay, so I did try to align it with women in astronomy. Sorry. So this project is critically called DAATA, Donation, Assembly, and Analysis of Telescopes for Astronomy. Something which we've been doing at our institute, IUCA, in which we make DIY telescopes, but we wanted to try to see if this is possible to do globally, especially with us hearing that so many people, philanthropists are interested in actually donating telescopes to developing countries or economically backward regions or troubled places in the world. However, what they end up doing is buying a big telescope, a whole package, and then sending it across. So the telescope itself, when brought ready-made, costs a lot. Then the transfer process costs a lot. The person who is receiving also has to pay a lot of taxes and customs duties and sometimes bribes as well, just to get the things out, right? And so these are the practical things which we face, which kind of reduces the efficiency of the donation. So we just wanted to try out if it's possible to just send the optics of the telescopes, and with this process and the instructions for making DIY telescopes have been floating around for more than a century now. John Dobson, is famous for his Dobsonian. So can we make the telescopes in situ in another country after a donation has been sent to it, but the donation is only of the optics. So we are doing this in collaboration, and India, Brazil, Nepal, and Tanzania have partnered for this under the NOCs funding scheme 2021-22. And so the word data actually in India in Hindi means donor. So that's why you'd see some weird words in the title. Anyway, so these are the optics that we sent across. I mean, of course, we can't only send the lens. We also send some accessories like the eyepieces, lens holder, a star diagonal. This is for a 2-inch refractor. So this is the lens that is sent, and a 25 mm and a 10 mm eyepiece, and some focuser and a lens holder. This is what we send to make a 5-inch refractor. So it's a concave mirror, a flat secondary. Again, the same eyepieces and a focuser. Okay, so and then what we are doing is we are just buying these in India with the donation from OAO in a way. And so India is acting as the person who will send it across. So we found out what are the challenges of couriering these things as a package. What are the kind of costs involved, right? And we are noting down all these things, which will be reported in our project report. And then the partners are trying to receive them, and they are noting the challenges of that and the costs incurred. All the practical things, including, as I said, things which may not be directly accounted for with bills and invoices. So those are being noted. And then the second step is the partner who receives the optics will make a prototype using a set of instructions. Now again, there are many instructions, so we are collecting together so that they all make the same kind of telescope with some local materials. So you can see this example of telescope here. And in this, we have used mostly things which are easily available in plumbing shops. So if you have some practical experience and you're hands-on people, so you must have seen these kinds of things. So the telescope is made with those optics and parts which are easily available. And at the end, the receiver should be able to conduct their own workshops. So success story, this is a latest picture from Nepal, our collaborator who have been using this reflecting telescope, as you can see. And it's being used widely during this month as well. And it's, again, as you see, you can still see the markings of the plywood that we had to go and cut to make these things there. And it's made out of plastics. Of course, this is a more decorative picture, but this is the picture from the actual workshops where you could see people trying to find out the focal length and talk about the physics of the optics, then them buying these pipes from the shops and then drilling into them and doing all sorts of things to finally come up with the telescopes. That's success in Nepal, and we have success in Tanzania, where the first set of telescopes have been made and the workshop is being planned right now, and Brazil is on the way. So, and you can see that, of course, we have learned from this process that we require to change certain things which may not be available in various countries. So the next step we are thinking of is to ask for help. So we wish to put out a survey amongst all partners, all NOCs, because finally, of course, we hope that this can be a feasible thing which we put out to donors, saying that, okay, can you pay for just the optics, and the local material, etc., will be kind of provided for by the people who receive it. Okay, so in this we are looking for alternatives for the things that we have used in our instructions. So we will soon put out a survey about with a list of material that we have used, so you can see if these things look familiar to you, and you could also help us inquire in the markets for the hardware parts if they're available at your place, and we can discuss alternative material. And sometimes the names are just different. It's the same thing, but we don't have the same name in a different part of the world. So we can discuss that and come up with a final list, comprehensive list of all sorts of alternatives which will help people to make their own telescopes at low cost. I emphasize this because this is a very necessary step, because we went to a very mountainous place once, and they didn't have these PVC pipes because it gets very cold, and so there were issues with it. So they have only metal pipes, and PVC pipes are unavailable. And we finally end up making something with a bamboo tube, right? So these are the things we could help by putting out an open document. And so this is what I wanted to present to you, that we will be reaching out to you all very soon with a small survey, and would appreciate your help. So that's me for now. Other partners are not here. I would have introduced them to you. Thank you so much, and thank you, Kelly.
Thank you for that. That was very cool. So I have a question for you, actually. Did you, in each country where you did these workshops, did you do them as the NOCs in each country doing the workshops themselves, or did you train people to do those workshops that could then teach other people how to create the telescopes?
Right. So we have, yes, that's a very important question. We did online training with the NOCs. And for Nepal, I was lucky enough to be able to be there, but we could see that there were still some difficulties, and we noted them. That was the first workshop. The Tanzania telescopes have been all done by the NOC and their team, and they're now ready for the workshops. They've all done this by themselves, and the training and the sharing of instructions has been all online. Same is happening with Brazil, where our partners have got the instructions. They've looked at the material list now. Our optics would be reaching there soon, and they're planning a workshop. They're in fact including it under another funding scheme from OAD. So just watching things. Yeah. So it's been online training, and it's possible.
Does anybody else have any questions? If not, I have another one. How did you make the decision to send out your optics from India over any of the other countries?
Oh, that's another important consideration we had. We wanted to see the the difference between borders. So India and Nepal are next door to each other. Tanzania is in Africa, so one continent across, and Brazil is half the world across. So we wanted to try that out. And all these countries are also developing countries, and they have several problems which are associated with our kind of countries, let's say. including customs, etc., the less regularization of duties, etc., and the partners were also ready to take it up. So they said that they wanted to do a hands-on session, and we talked with some people who said right now they're not interested in doing hands-on. So these were the partners we finally came up with.
Very interesting. Anybody else? Yumna, please.
I don't have a question, but just appreciation that it looks like a really, really interesting project that we have been trying to do only in Pakistan. We have been given by some kits, or given some kits by Jean Perry, and I really look forward to your assistance on how we can do that in Pakistan.
Sure, Yumna. Stop the shares. Sure, anytime, and we'll be happy to, support you or help with any kind of instructions from our side. Share
you.
any experience anytime. Just reach out to us. I'll keep my mic muted because there's another workshop happening behind me where some drilling is going on right now.
All right, so thank you, Samir. That was really interesting. Exodus, do you want to go next? I know you had mentioned that you wanted to talk about your work.
Yeah, it should be okay. So please wait for about yes. Okay, so today my sharing would be some approaches that we tried out in Hong Kong that's about dark sky education, and also some astronomy outreach that we tried out in the community and in some schools, and also in some public education with the local museums. So I start with the climate change because it's a really wicked problem, and just like a bit like astronomy that really lead different disciplines, cooperation, and different sectors to engage to promote astronomy. So this problem raised my question. This question had raised my starting of consider the role of astronomy. And yeah, astronomy is actually an interdisciplinary natural science, and there are a lot of different disciplines that we could try to connect with: computers, mathematics, observational astronomies, engineering, and also in the recent year, more and more people are aware of the STEAM education, including arts and also the humanity as a criteria for science communication and astronomy education. And excuse me, just wait for a while. Maybe I need to remove this one. Okay, so it's all about some kind of different mindsets. First one is about the system thinking, to think of some cause and effects relationships. And also there are also some different mindsets, for example, the design thinking model to solve some real life issues by having some empathy, to have some questioning about or some social observation about the urban light pollutions or the equity of astronomy education, the resources lacking in some community or in some schools, they are lacking of resources, and we are trying out some open source astronomy education or online video to popularize the astronomy education through the STEAM education, and I will simply divide into 5 different aspects. And the first one is sustainability, and I think it's really important core values about the UN SDGs, the Sustainability Development Goals, and actually there are a lot of different things that we can connect the goals with the astronomy education or outreach. For example, the quality education, the Q energy, or some global partnerships or collaborations. I think it's really important that always to to have some evaluations after organizing some events about astronomy, and we will make some adjustment to our goals or to modify whether there will be some other possibilities or some alternative methods that we can try out in our community. And the second one is T, technology. And actually there are a lot of different online resources that we can try it out. Not only the Google Earth, but also some stargazing map, and also some technology based, for example, the light pollution map, or some holographical technologies that we can try it out to make astronomy more interesting. For example, some 3D technology that we can try it out. Not really expensive, but it can be some hands-on or some kind of learning by making process for the learners to engage in learning astronomy in different ways, not just textbook or videos or PowerPoint, but they can try out something by hands. They can enjoy and engage in that process. And E for explorations, and it's really great that we can enjoy the beauty of night sky under the dark sky. But really ironically, in Hong Kong, we can rarely see the Milky Way and also the night sky in the urban area. And usually we have to travel to our further country parks in order to see the night sky in a really good weather. So it's really that we can have chances to have some good weather seeing for stargazing in Hong Kong. And but so that we always wish to raise people awareness about the preservation and also the protection of night sky in our places. And we have some different kinds of stargazing experience or astronomy tools, not just a stargazing camp or sidewalk astronomy or some astronomical carnival, collaborating with the local science museum or space museums. We also tried out something new, for example, the night pollution field trips to net people to understand the artificial light at night. So this is the night sky in the urban area in Hong Kong, and you can see there are a lot of different light pollutions, the glacier, the light pollutions, and also some kind of to net the participants to know more about through the night sky brightness measurement, and to know more about the issues that we are facing with in Hong Kong, especially the environmental issues. And also we do have some different experience in Hong Kong. Of course, we don't have a rover, but we have some different night sky species that they have some unique lights that they can be seen in the nighttime. For example, the growing mushroom, the fireflies, and also the UV scorpion, ultraviolet scorpions, and also some kind of sea sparkle. And we also tried out some art approaches, not just space art, drawings, or using some kind of also some astro music that we tried out to have some lectures and cooperations with some local musicians and experts or arts lovers to have different kind of activities in Hong Kong. And we always wish to explore the diversity of astronomy, and also to explore different possibilities about astronomy in Hong Kong, because in Hong Kong there are a lot of different entertaining industry that draw people attention. So we really have to modify with different kind of methods, or try out different approaches of astronomy to reach the people, not just the mainstream science or mainstream environmental issues, but also some kind of things that we are always wish more people to aware about. Not only many people are gathered when there will be some astronomical events, but also to encourage more younger generation to engage in some science communication activities, or to motivate them to come to the society, to reach the schools, to promote astronomy to more younger generations. And some project we tried out some DIY items, for example, the DIY light up constellations, and it's actually a modified version that we use some different lighting, and also some the batteries, and also some kind of a better design to modify it to let the primary students to know more about the constellation that we can see in different seasons, and also to explore it through the scenario to know more about what they can see in the night sky. And also some dark sky friendly light shields. It's actually a user friendly design because it's using aluminum foil and aluminum cover, and it's a bigger version of the egg tart aluminum cover, the shield, aluminum shield, and it could be used for to encourage children to design and to have different kind of creative thinking about to design the shape or design the color or the drawing, whatever. And it's really good because it can actually be used in the home lighting, the domestic lighting at home. It can really be used at home. And also some kind of DIY to make some paper models about the Saturn V rockets, because a few years ago we were celebrating the moon landing 50 anniversary. So we have some DIY workshops in the Science Museum, about 100 to 200 children, on-site activities before COVID, and also some kind of DIY celebration of DIY and a celebration of the solar eclipse, and some hands-on to gather to encourage to arouse children's curiosity and their interest about astronomy or some kind of astronomical events. And this is all about my sharing, and thank you everyone. And yeah, please feel free if you have any ideas or questions that it would be good that we can have some communications or sharing. Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you, Exodus. That was really cool. Does anybody have any questions for Exodus? If not, I have one. So it's really interesting, this like multimodal learning that you do with, engaging people's different ways of approaching science and problem solving. And I wonder if you have done any evaluation on the impacts that has on learning outcomes for your students and for the people that come in and do your outreach events at museums.
Actually, there are different kind of engagement, including in school education, formal education, public education, and also the science communication about media. And for formal education, we do have some evaluation about students in schools about their learning, and we have some stargazing booklets for them to record what they have learned, the experience, and with different parts with pre-task and also the post-task. And the pre-task is all about some knowledge base about the what constellation they can see and the light pollution that we are facing with in Hong Kong. And the activities is actually about a field trip that they have a real time to have some stargazing in the country park, and they see the night sky, but that day the light pollution is really serious and they can't see much stars, and they have some reflections. And the post-task is all about some advocacies or some evaluation, what they can do in order to make the environment better. For example, to make some poster or some video to call for actions, to call for people to engage, or some kind of to make some models or whatever. So I would have some flexibility for them to design anything about dark sky or light sky protections. But for the public activities, but we do have some evaluation. We based on the contents to make some adjustment. For example, we face that, if the talk was full of astronomical knowledge or astrophysics, the audience may not be that if the audience may not have that kind of scientific background, they may not be able to understand. So we wish our talk could be inclusive to achieve different people's needs from basic science. In one talk, we have different level of content. We have basic science, funny facts, and also some advanced calculation of astronomy. So we hope to meet people with to fit them with different needs about astronomy. Some people are just getting to the lectures all about entertainment, or they just really to have some relax through the astro music talks. I think it's okay because at least they engaged to join it, to participate on site. Because after COVID, an observation that not many people are willing to engage in the lectures on site again after the COVID. They rather to participate through Zoom or online media or platforms, or even just watch a YouTube or or recording of talks. They may not be willing to engage on site. But I think it sparked me a thinking or reflection on how could we modify our talks to fit on different people, to be interesting. I think astronomy for public, if we really wish them to understand, we have to think, we have to put ourselves into other shoes. We have to think what people needs about astronomy. Why astronomy is that important to our daily life? Why students should learn astronomy? Because traditionally, children watch the space news. Oh, it's really great, Hubble telescope. There are a lot of space mission, but the connections to them might not be that strong in the past sense communication. And this is what we are still learning and still exploring. Thank you.
I have a question. May I? Okay.
Yeah.
I can see some slide for regarding the dark sky awareness, and so could you share your slide again?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Which part would you like me to show?
Yes, so some bright night and dark night scene.
Back in night.
Previous.
Okay.
Previous. Yes, this one.
This one, okay.
No, next one.
Next one.
Yeah, this one. Yes, in Hong Kong, as far as I know, there are many very bright lights in the signboards, LED in the night time. So, what's the difference with the two scenes? There's some turn off the signboard scene in the left side. I can see some letter lower bright in left picture.
Oh, you mean the light here, the spotlight, the flashlight?
Yes, I mean, the people measure the night sky brightness with the different condition, or same day, or same situation, or different day. I mean,
yeah. Actually, we because our main surface is not the research on the dark sky brightness. So actually, we do have some astronomical organizations, some other members. They're doing some research about the night sky brightness in Hong Kong, and it's actually supported by the HKU, at the University of Hong Kong. They do have some official research in that area, but in our level, it's really difficult that we do some night sky brightness to just invite our visitors or participants to visit that place every day, or frequently organize that camp for them to have some comparison. But I think the use of night sky brightness, of course, we are not really using some really sophisticated measurement to allow our participants to have some scientific methods or scientific research, but we wish to let them to know, to have some comparison. Usually we are not using the the parameters of the night sky brightness. The Q, is that a QSM? I forgot the shorter form, but we are using the just a minute. I forgot the name. We do have some other amateur astronomer parameters for comparing the night sky brightness. The Bolton scale, So we usually to let people to compare the Bolton scale of the dark environment and the urban area. So yeah.
So this is kind of a campaign to people recognize the importance of the night sky, right?
Yes. We have some activities about light pollution or some sidewalk astronomy near the Victoria Harbour, but not for stargazing experience. Just to let people know the light pollution that we are facing with. So our target people, we still set up some telescope in some times, but because we have different types of people we serve, so we have different format of activities that we tried out. So probably I may not be able to talk much about that.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Can I comment about your activity about this sky brightness measurement?
Yeah, okay.
In Japan, the governmental activity has been done for the measurement of night sky brightness. Environment Ministry, 環境省 is engaging the such measurements for 20 years or more. Is there any activity in Hong Kong to measure brightness in governmental activity?
We have actually a official measurement of night sky brightness, or for example, you see the background here. Is actually done by the University of Hong Kong. A few years ago, they have set up about 20 to 30 the dark sky brightness measurement, and they discovered that in the places where near the Hong Kong Space Museum, in this area, and you can see it's 1,200 times brighter than the dark sky places. So I'm not really sure what their actual parameter, but they just mentioned that is they use the night sky brightness, but they didn't provide much data calculation. But if you are interested, please feel free to watch to read their articles in the HKU. It's actually by the physics departments, and they do have a really professional calculations. But I think the seriousness might not be that serious, because after the COVID, it's not that bright, I think, in the current situation, I think. Yes, but we don't have much support about the measurement of dark sky, because in Hong Kong, just few teams or astronomical organizations that we are aware of that, but not officially by government support for the dark sky research for many years, because in the current time, we still don't have any ideas of setting up dark sky places or the IDSP, International Dark Sky Parks, and also some official preserved areas about dark sky. So it still need our efforts, many people's efforts to raise people awareness, because we do have a lot of different environmental projects, and always light pollution is not the top field one, and not many people are aware of. And thank you for the question.
It is very important to invite citizens to measure the night sky for awareness of the dark sky, importance of dark sky. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any questions? I will just point out that the program you're talking about, Exodus at HKU, is partially supported by the OAO. Uh, yeah, so if you have questions about that, you should definitely get in touch with the leads on that project. Their website has a lot of information on it, and I can get you in touch with them too if you're interested in getting to be a part of that. They actually also gave us a few SQMs, so that's an avenue also that we could maybe talk about getting people access to those and getting them calibrated so that they can actually participate in the program as well. Great, so thank you so much, Exodus. That was really great to hear. Does anybody else have anything they want to share or talk about?
Yeah. Yes, I have some few things to share and announce. I will share the screen. I didn't prepare the slide, but I can show some website. Yes. First, this year is 50th anniversary of KASI, Korea Astronomy Space Science Institute. So, we today released some music video regarding some female researchers is growing her dream from the young student and when she was a young student. So I can share this, but unfortunately this is all Korean, but you can imagine, you can see the some contents inside the music video. So I can I can share the website link on the text too. And the second thing is there will be COSPA assemblies in coming July, and the same place with IAUGA assembly in 2022. During the assembly, we will have some teacher training program cooperated with Rosa Doran. So some teachers, we will invite some teachers from near Asia area and held a teacher training program including Korean teachers. And a couple of weeks ago, we released some citizen science theme. This is kind of a universe classifying the shape of galaxies. Citizens can classifying their own view with to help the scientists with some classifying the galaxies, extra galaxies. So this is, I think this is very official first official citizen science thing in Korea. So, and we started the second astrophoto contest recently, and this is a very historic contest in Korea, astrophoto Korea. This is 32nd issues, and many great pictures compete each others, and we will release the results and prize for April. It's this thing what I share and announce. Please look at the COSPA 2024 website. Yes, that's all.
Thank you. That's very interesting. I will say, so your citizen science program looks really really interesting, and maybe Yamaoka-san can talk a little bit more in depth about what's going on at NAOJ.
Look like as the Galaxy Cruise in NAOJ. Probably Seogu also know about that. It is based on the images taken by Subaru telescope. And the survey program SSP, but Seogu, can I hear which images were using in your project?
You mean the galaxy images?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, the institute cooperate with many other institute in abroad. So some images from Subaru also, and some images from Hubble, and many sources are cooperated with our project.
That's good. And the other question is results from citizen science will be used in the scientific research?
Yes, this project is just started, so not so many participants from public are not so we have announced and released and this project to public, so many people can notice that project. So this is just started here.
Yes, the joining is very good thing for students, I think. I'd like to announce that Aviva will promote the some projects with our Galaxy Cruise in coming months in Indonesia. Could you introduce about that, Aviva?
Yeah, thank you, Yamaoka-san. And I'm sorry if I'm late today. I just got back from hospital. So we will have the upcoming event. It's starting with the live streaming of the introductions to Galaxy Cruise. So we will have that event on this Saturday, February 24th. It will consist of the introductions of Galaxy itself. And then after that, we have a talk about introductions to Galaxy Cruise. And then a short, we hope that we have a short guidance on how to do citizen science projects of this Galaxy Cruise. And then a week after that, in March 3rd, we will have a workshop about Galaxy Cruise with the students in Jakarta. This will be led by the group of amateur astronomy in Jakarta. They will have it in the Jakarta Planetarium. And then after that, we will have another series of workshops that will be held in the Astronomy institutions here in ITB in Bandung. So for our live streaming in February 24th, we will target for the general public and also the communities in Indonesia. And then a week after, for the workshop, it will be for the communities and also for the high school students. And the second workshop in astronomy department in ITB, it will be a focus to train the astronomy students about Galaxy Cruise and how to do research with the data. And then after that, we will have another workshop in Central Java, but I don't have the information right now. I only have these 3 events And then after that, it's like a month after the whole workshop, we will have another live streaming with the participants of Galaxy Cruise in Indonesia. That's what we will do. But let's, well, we will have the first live streaming in this Saturday. So I hope it will go well. We have, I haven't checked how many people register for the live streaming events, but we limit we have limitations with the Zoom, so it's only 100 people.
Thank you very much, Aviva, for your kindness to introduce our Galaxy Cruise to Indonesian people. It is important that introducing will be done by Indonesian language, which we can not do that. We can, so it is fruit for the collaboration, international collaboration. I shared in the comments the Galaxy Cruise URL and the Twitter X from Indonesia.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the tweet.
Please see that. And I'd like to introduce other citizen science project in Japan. Can I? It is COIAS. COIAS is acronym about of the common. Sorry, I forgot it. Common impacting asteroids. But you can see the URL in the chat of this meeting. And it is written in Japanese and also in English. The COIAS is the name of the manga story, which high school girls are interested in the astronomical research. And they visit to Ishigakijima Island to discover the new asteroids. So our collaborator, Urakawa-san, inspired from that manga, and he designed the citizen science project, which the collaborator will engage to discover the new asteroids from images taken by Subaru telescope, which is already open for the public, but COIAS project use these images, and they made very user-friendly UAI for searching the new asteroids. Please visit the site ID in chat, and you can learn how to discover the new asteroids. This activity will be widely announced in many chances, I think in General Assembly. And so we hope we will get many citizen scientists from all over the world. Okay, thank you.
Yamaoka-san, did you submit an abstract yet? Is that what you said?
Not. It will be sent by Urakawa-san, I hope.
To the OAO session, because we're the joint session with the Amateur Astronomy and Citizen Science group.
I will recommend him.
Yes, please do. Yeah, that's really interesting. And it's really great to see all of these citizen science projects use real data that's being used in a academic scientific setting. It's a really great experience, and anybody to participate in. So we have about 20 minutes left. Does anybody else, Yumna, do you want to, or Aviva, do you want to talk about anything that is on your plate recently?
Okay, I want to, well, we currently focus actually in social media and how to build all the social media presence to share astronomy across all social media. So basically we use X and then Facebook and also Instagram, Thread, TikTok, YouTube. So we currently in it's like try and error stage. So we will see the statistic in the upcoming months. And well, for now, it's really good, I think, according to my analysis. And I would love to share with you all about the progress every time, so you can also do that in your country. So basically, we share about the solar system and all the events in astronomy in just 10 to 15 seconds short video. This is actually the result. I mean, we usually make 30 seconds to 1 minute video, but the idea of having 15 seconds video come up from April, from one of the participants of our workshop, and he said that much more effective to have like 7 seconds, but 7 seconds is too fast. So we try 10 to 15 seconds. And sometimes if we need more explanation, so we have it in 30 seconds. But aside from that, we currently have this ongoing project for the Galaxy Cruise, and we plan to have, I hope that we can do that. We plan to have, this is basically the idea from OAO about the card. So I want to have, I want to create a card about every woman in astronomy here. I hope that it will work. It will work out. But I will definitely have a talk with Kelly and discuss about it first before I make it. And just as I write to you, Kelly, I hope that you can announce about 100 hours of astronomy or other events much more earlier, so we can share with the communities here, so they can start to prepare everything if they want to join the events. So basically, it's like the international night for international moon night from NASA. It's actually, they actually have it like, and also Space Week. People knows that the event will be in October, so they actually include all these events in January when they create their annual events, especially for communities. Well, that's all, I guess.
I will say about that. So I still need to have some conversations with people about Dark and Quiet Skies. I will be announcing in just a week or so about Telescopes for All.
Okay.
That'll happen in April. And then I already know roughly what we're going to be doing for 100 hours. I have a partnership with the International Planetarium Society, and it's going to be all centered around the planetarium. So we're going to try to get as many planetariums as we can in the IPS work to have a show sometime during 100 Hours of Astronomy, and try to promote all of these shows that are happening all over the world. And another thing that we're going to try to do is do like a partner planetarium program. So have a very large, well-established planetarium partner with a smaller, maybe mobile planetarium, and share resources, share materials, maybe even share technology if that's possible. So that's what we're planning for 100 Hours of Astronomy. I've only had one meeting with them so far, but that is the direction that we're going in. And so I can announce that more. Just so you know, that's what we're planning. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, my internet's not great here, I think.
Yeah, a bit lost, but it's okay. So I
Okay.
think it will be great because it will help promote planetarium here. I think I have shared this about the Indonesian planetarium having some struggle here. So I think it will be good that if we can have them to also join the project, not only the community, because usually here there is one community under the planetarium that much more active than the planetarium itself. So I hope this time the planetarium will take the lead.
Yeah. So I will try to get the IPS to commit a little bit more to creating the structure for that program, so that I can then share that with you all. But what I do plan on doing soon is sending around a form just to see if anybody has any local planetariums that they would want to be a part of this program, so that we can make sure that they get partnered with either a larger planetarium, or if you would like to support another planetarium, then you can do that too. So I will provide that information soon. There was something else you
May
mentioned that I
I?
wanted to. Yeah, please.
No, if you want to finish, you were trying to remember something, you can think of it and
No,
say.
I'll remember it, and you can go ahead.
Okay. So for this year, my main goal for my organization exploration is to make the strong foundations of my organization. I started it when I was 18 without any idea of business model and sustainability. It was just a space awareness campaign which grew a lot in Pakistan. There is a huge demand, and we have been established in the media like digital and social media, but still there is a lack of a stable business development plan. At the same time, if we are keeping it a non-profit charitable organization, there are no fundings at the back end. So this year I am focusing more on building the strong foundations and finding ways on how to keep my organization sustainable. And secondly, for the outreach, that is something that we can never stop. Um, Over the last 2 years, I have realized that whenever I am traveling or if I am sick, I am not available. The schools who invite us, they want me to be the instructor, and they are not willing that my volunteers come and lead the workshop or lead the lecture. That is strange because I want to train my volunteers now that they are good enough that other school accept their leadership as well. For that purpose, I would really request all of you to help me develop a, sh- a short training program. It can be science communicator training, or it can be space educators training, where we do a online or in-person training. And also we will be developing teaching kits, uh, there will be 2, 3. So by the end of the fellowship or the training, there would be few, you can say, those who qualify the most, those who want to join our team, they will get teaching kits. And most probably these science communicator will not be in the same city as I am. I want these educator to take these kits from me and go in their regional areas, their local communities, and do the astronomy outreach over there as well. In my city, it's developed area, and we are doing outreach over here. So in short, if there any one of you can share what's the business model of your organizations and how do you guys manage the sustainability, and secondly, how do you guys train your team, that you can conduct several workshops, or you can send your teammates at different schools during the maybe during space week or same day.
I would think Aviva has a lot to say about that.
Well, I don't know what to say actually, but well, actually we usually collaborate with the organization, the young astronomers organizations here, especially the astronomy students. So we usually have our team consists of the astronomy students, and so we and some of them actually come from the technical, well, they handle the technical part or the observation part for the international, for the astronomy Olympiad here. So basically we have them as the teacher or the educator for doing many workshop here, and also going to schools. And well, if you ask me about funding, that is another problem for us because we have struggled with funding as well. But usually we what we do with our project, we have collaborations and doing exchange. If you can give us our resource for us, and then we can we can give the we can provide all the workshop, but the other partners should give us like the venue, and also sometimes if we need to give some to give the children or the students meals, so they will take part taking care of that. So well, we indeed struggle with this business model and also the funding, but we have astronomy students as a resource, and we have astronomy alumni also as a resource, because they become our core team right now. And also the senior amateur astronomers here, they join us to become our core team. So in terms of that part, we are good. But and then we have schools to collaborate with. So in a year, we usually goes to like more, yeah, I can count because it's in several cities, because basically our core team is in several cities as well. So we go to the schools, we teach the students, and we have a teacher training workshop. But teacher training is become less and less. So right now we mostly teach the students, and it usually during the September to December, because at that time the elementary schools, they have a team about universe and solar system. So so we are teach the students at that during that time. Aside than that, well, we are mostly in social media and also online presence as astronomy media. We work and collaborate with the science journalists. So basically, we are part of the Indonesia Science Journalists group, and we also contribute to the World Science Journalists Conference to share our struggle here as a media to talk about astronomy, to build to build and to how do I say that? So we hope that we can build a scientific mind, scientific temper among the students as early as we want. And hopefully we can also contribute to build scientific mind for the students in middle schools and high schools. So we using the media, so that's what we share in a science journalists group, actually. Yeah, in the science journalists. And then I just talked to Kelly the other day about another project that aside than schools, I also teach in a homeschooling, that they have idea, not with the team, the regular team that the regular schools have. So they they provide a book. It's astronomy. It's about the figure in astronomy. So the book is Great Astronomers. The title is Great Astronomers, and since this is a homeschooling, the parents, they translate the whole book into Indonesian from English, and then they because they don't have the capability to teach their children, they asked me to provide my my knowledge for the students. So I have a class with more than 10, it's about 20 students at first, but now because some of the students want to go to the regular school, so it's about 10 to 15 students. So the idea is, with the Great Astronomers book in Indonesia, they want me to read the book with them and then explain about each each figure in the book. So we start with Ptolemeus. I don't know how to say it in English in the correct way. And then Copernicus, and then now with Tycho Brahe, and then now we talk about Einstein. So the basically the parents wants me to to read and then explain, but I make it like this. They want me to read and explain, but I change it to we read together, so everyone get the chance to read, and then I explain, but also I give them idea that the development of all this current technology is not something that we can have in an instant. So I want them to see the development from the geocentric idea up to now, since we just talk about Einstein. So sorry, it's not Einstein, Galileo. So we talk about Galileo. So I want them to imagine the current state we have now, about the technology, the the knowledge we have, and then go back to the era of geocentric up to the Galileo, when he first time when at the first time when he point his telescope to the sky, and what he what he discovered at that time, and also about the how people how about because they talk about the book also talk about Galileo letters with his daughters. Then we talk about women in science, women in astronomy, and about the limitations that the women have at that era. So I think this is a good idea for us as well, to have like a book club and talk about many things in astronomy, but not only astronomy, because we can extend the topic into general science, and also philosophy, history, and well, many things actually, and art as well. Well, I hope I'm not going too far.
No. Thank you so much for this detailed feedback. I would say you guys are really lucky to have science journalists and the conference specifically for that over here. So in my team, I believe that you might be able to help me in that as well, because in Pakistan we do not have astronomy students. We don't have astronomy as a subject over here. So in my team, the people are mostly like all of them are volunteers. They don't get paid. So I constantly have that guilt that I am not able to pay them. And secondly, they come from STEM background. They are engineers, they are maybe healthcare students. A few of them are lawyers or maybe media related sciences, and they have different interests. Uh, that's why they all say that they need training because they do not feel confident to lead a workshop, not only just in how to communicate science, but especially training on how to debunk the myths. For example, there was a public science festival in Lahore, in my city, and I was not in Pakistan, and my team had to lead it. And there came a lot of people who were all about conspiracy theories. And in my booth, we were exhibiting meteorites. We had a collection of meteorites, and there were a lot of misconceptions and conspiracies. And my team felt that we do not have enough training and background knowledge to actually have a healthy discussions with such sort of public as well. um, so that's why I was wondering, since I don't have astronomy students to join my organization, there are a lot of computer sciences, mechanical engineers, and such people who have joined the team, but all they want is I provide them a structured 2-day, 3-day training where they can learn the basics of science communication, and from that they have confidence that they can lead the workshop or at least take the workshop under my supervision as well. um, that is something that I am strongly looking for. And collaborating part is good. Initially collaborations helped us a lot. These days it's, I don't know, not working so far. And when it comes to home twittering, honestly speaking, space and astronomy is still a very alien topic over here. In the last few years, what happened was I was invited to a lot of TV channels in Pakistan. And when I shared my journey of why I do what I do, people realized how passionate I am about my work and how an 18-year-old girl started it. It gave me benefits as well, that my work was promoted and everything. But at the same time, when it comes to schools and collaborators and home tutoring and even parents, they reach out to me. They want my private time. They want their kids to get mentored by me. They want consultation sessions, but at the same time, they're not willing to pay. And they keep asking for discounts. They keep asking for such things. And I am honestly done with it because it clearly means they don't respect my time. So, what strategy should I make for this, that if people are so interested and they're asking me for my services, there should be at least a small price to it, because there are so many deserving schools in Pakistan, so many public schools in Pakistan who deserve my free services. People who can easily afford are the ones who keep asking that, oh, sorry, our child is so passionate, but we cannot pay. And even the home tutoring part, there have been a few parents who reached out to me that they want their child to learn about space and astronomy, but at the same time, they're not willing to pay. A parent literally bought their 7-year-old kid a Celestron telescope worth 2,000 euros, but they wanted me to offer a free workshop for 25 kids, completely free of cost. Oh, sorry, we don't have budget, we cannot pay, can you please bring your stuff? So that's pretty weird. I really want to know, how do you guys deal with that? My business development side is not that strong. I think with my heart and not with my brain.
Well, Kelly, can I give another idea?
Sure. We are running into the next
I know.
session time, but yeah,
You
okay.
you will have the next session. So maybe we can talk privately, Yumna.
Yes,
But
yes, please.
as just but it's just come up to my mind, so that last year we have, well, for many things here, I said we struggle with funding, we struggle with many things, but for the students that work for us, mostly they are volunteers, so we gave them the not only certificate, but usually they want us to give recommendations when they applied for for master degree or a PhD. And then for the funding, usually we go for the government grant with not with the idea of educations, because they don't really give you money for educations, but we submit the proposal for the astrotourism, including educations in it. That's how we got funding here. Well, not every time,
sorry,
but at least
I
several
don't
times
get it.
we've got that.
Yeah.
So
I
if
will
you
ask
have the
about
tourism
in
ministry,
meeting.
just like us here in Indonesia, that's how we go for funding. So we ask from astrotourism, but we also include the educations for the students in schools, because the education ministry won't give us money for that.
Okay, great. Understood.
I will also mention, you talked about conspiracy theories and misconceptions in science. Eduardo Penteado at the OAE was doing a project relatively recently, I'm not entirely sure what came of it, about those topics. So it might be something that you could ask him about and see if he has any resources on ways to have conversations about misconceptions and strange theories that people might have. And actually, Aviva, I thought you contributed to that somewhat. Am I?
Yes.
Yeah.
I also work with these hoax and misconceptions here. So yeah, if you need well, most of my resources in Indonesia, but if Google Translate works, then you can have the instant translate right now to another language. But if you want to talk about how to do it, I mean, if you need resource, then you can use Google Translate. I can share my website. But if you need on the strategy, then we can talk about it, and I can share my our strategy here.
So just some updates that I want to make sure you're aware of. CAP conference, like I was saying at the end of last meeting, that's in June, and the abstract submission and the grant applications are due by the 29th. I posted on Basecamp an opportunity to have virtual participation paid for by the OAO if you submit an abstract and you're willing to help out on the virtual organizing committee.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, so, there's a link on Basecamp, or I'm gonna post these slides and you'll be able to interact with the links that are on here. So yeah, make sure you take a look at that. There are some, kind of like detailed responsibilities for the VOC, but I lay it all out as detailed as I could so you know what you're getting yourself into. So, and then if you want any support with writing your abstract, just let me know. I'm happy to help out with that, or just brainstorm or anything.
I think I've sent my abstract in already. I sent
Oh,
it.
have you?
Yeah, I sent it in January. I think it came out in January, right? The call came in January, towards the end of January, yes. And I sent it together with the General Assembly one, the one for the IA General Assembly. So, well, I hope I didn't know that I was supposed to write the abstract. I would have asked you to support. But maybe next time.
Well, yeah, so so for the GA, did you submit to a different session?
That I don't know. I'm not even sure. Or she just submit another one to the. Okay, I'll maybe I'll submit another one just to. Yes, I'll just submit another one to the OA is the outreach session. Yes, I'll just try and submit another one before first March.
Yes, 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 please do.
Yes.
Please. And there's a lot of support for travel for the GA.
Okay.
And separate special support for people who are traveling from within Africa. So there's a lot of support available for people, particularly African scientists that want to join.
Okay.
So yeah, please apply and please come. It would be
Yes,
so great to have
definitely.
you there.
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah, cool. And actually also something that you might be interested in. So this project that I'm a part of called AstroExcel, it's a project to bring together as many different research forward in a few key areas. That's culture, education, learning, and engagement, and science communication. And there's an opportunity to be part of a cohort of 8 early career researchers who do some kind of research in these areas to kind of build the support networks that they need to succeed in their careers moving forward. So if that seems like something you're interested in, or if you have students, or if you know any other colleagues that might be interested in that, that's a really cool thing. That's also something that I posted on Basecamp. So you can check that out there. There's a lot of information on the Basecamp post. And if you click on the link, there's also a ton of information in like the preamble area.
Yes, I think I saw it yesterday.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I actually want to apply for it myself. So I don't know, maybe I'll get some support from you to apply, or maybe it will be against I don't want to, maybe there's a conflict of interest or something, but I do want to apply for it.
No, you absolutely should. And I would really encourage you to. If you're so I'm a co-PI on this project, so I would be among the people reviewing the submissions, but I can let them know that, you know, I know you're part of my network, and I helped you think through this application. So I would not be involved in your review process. So I think that should be totally fine if you want to talk about it.
All right.
Yeah, because this I think would be really great. And there's a lot of support in our budget for early career researchers. There's actually, like, most of what we want to do is focused around ECRs. So this is definitely something that you should think about. And also the last thing that I wanted to mention is that the OID is having kind of like a symposium of its 2023 projects that's happening on Friday. And if you're interested, you have to register to watch it live. And you can get the Zoom link from them. And again, I can just send you these slides so that you have this at the ready.
Yes, that'll be great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll do that. And yeah, and that's it for my side. Oh, actually, no, one more. So the NOCs funding scheme for this year, I will, so as an update for the 2024 NOCs funding scheme, there's one group, I have to send all of the financial information at once to IAU Central, and there's one group that hasn't given me their financial information yet. And I'm hounding them as hard as I can to give that to me. So I hope to have that by the end of this week. So that I can send all that information in. It's actually pretty good timing anyway, because in the last few weeks, central office has been really consumed by, we have these offices meetings or officers meetings. So they take up a lot of their bandwidth. So this probably would have gotten lost anyway. So it's better that I send it to them at the end of February than at the beginning. But anyway, so that will all be taken care of shortly. And I will make sure that I stay on top of IAU Central and make sure that they process all the information and get the transfers going as quickly as possible. But for this year's NOCs funding scheme, our theme is going to be inclusive astronomy outreach, which is why I wanted to make the theme of this first regional meeting, Inclusive Astronomy Outreach. And supposed to happen, I'm actually not sure where she is, but someone from the Inclusive Outreach sub-working group from the IAU was supposed to be here to give a talk about the work that they do and what inclusive outreach really means, and all the different forms that it can take. So what that sub-working group is going to do is hold a discussion session with any NOCs who are interested in participating in this program, or anybody who's interested in learning about inclusive outreach. And they're just gonna, facilitate discussions amongst all of the participants in whatever capacity they want to. It's going to be a very open discussion. And then on the 1st of April, I'll formally release the phase 1 application, which will include the application itself and the rubric, again, that will have added information to it to make it more specific to the theme.
Okay.
In mid-April, there's going to be a global meeting, and we'll just have like a quick check-in just to make sure people are on the same page. We know what's going on with the NOCs funding scheme, and if there's any support that you need, we can talk about it then. And then on the 1st of June, those phase 1 applications will be due. We'll have some time to evaluate, and then on the 15th of July or thereabouts, I'll invite phase 2 proposals to come in. So just so you know, the phase 1 will be more along the lines of like an abstract and a very rough idea for your budget. And then the phase 2 will be a much more detailed, a much more detailed proposal, so that you have the confidence that what you're proposing is going to move forward in some realistic sense. So then you'll have a couple, maybe, what is it, 2.5, 3.5 months to write those phase 2 proposals, and then those will be due at the beginning of October. We'll have some time to look through and provide recommendations and give those recommendations to the proposers on the 1st of November. And then they'll have some time to reiterate and give us back a new version on the 1st of December. And then we will make our final selections on the 15th of December. So hopefully all of this will go exactly according to plan, and nothing will be late. But this is the draft, anyway, plan of the NOCs funding scheme for this year, with as much scaffolding placed in there as we can. But if you think there are any other ways that we could make this easier to build connections and collaborations between people, because I know it could be difficult to, define what is inclusive outreach across national and cultural boundaries. So it is a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. But I think it's an interesting way to get people to work together and think creatively about how to come up with solutions to really interesting problems.
Yeah, I wanted to know, would this one still be a combined funding scheme where multiple NOCs from different countries will have to combine to apply?
Yes, yeah.
Like
So
we
the
did with-
NOCs, yeah. The NOCs funding schemes are all kind of structured that the 2 or more NOCs have to come together to create a project that addresses something within their communities that are aligned with the theme that we set out for the beginning of the funding project. So yeah,
and then this scheme will probably have to be more regional based, because, well, it doesn't have to be, because maybe saying regional would mean that maybe just like I in Nigeria are doing it together, we have similar challenges in our countries. So it's easier for us to move towards a topic that will suit our region. But I'm sure maybe Brazil and Nigeria will probably have similar problems too, because of the nature of the economy and the nature of where they're located. So I think we can still do across continent networking. It is possible to still do that.
Yeah. And I think what it kind of requires is people to know the challenges that they face within various countries, because it's sometimes not obvious what other people have to go through. And you know, it could be something that's structural. It could be you know, any number of things, like thinking about how to engage people who are blind or low vision in astronomy outreach. It could be engaging people who are deaf, or women in astronomy is also an inclusive project. Engaging with the LGBTQI plus community would be an inclusion project. And yeah, there's inclusive astronomy is a very big umbrella.
Yes,
And
it
there's
is.
a lot of different axes that you could take to address this this theme. So it's, you know, it's just a question of what kind of collaborations do you want to make, and what connections do you think you need in order to do something interesting in your country.
Okay. Understandable. Yeah. It should be very interesting.
I hope so. I'm excited about this. I think this will be really cool. Oh, where'd she go? Oh. All right. So it's just you. Is there
Yes, it's just
anything
me.
you wanted to talk about?
Well, I was at the AAA conference. Well, I told you about it. I'll be at the AAA conference in January, and I met one of the sessions was on SLU. I don't know whether you've heard of it. It's a virtual observatory. So trying to get, yes, so you can get students to actually schedule time on these telescopes all over, I think most around the US, but they can actually obtain and mostly it's visible optical data. And so it's quite interesting. So I want to get involved in that and get some of my people also involved, and some teachers also involved. I'm not getting a lot of good feedback from the teachers. Most of them are very busy, and most of them will probably not have even any internet in their schools. I'm trying to get a lot of people as interested as possible, so we can have a training session on it, that we can even have it at a telescope here when we have students, because I told you we have a lot of students coming here to visit. So if I can get as many of them as interested as they can, that'll be a good way to, you know, get astronomy, you know, they can take it home by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of the projects I'm really trying to get involved. Because the time is a problem. I'm supposed to schedule training, but it's just one of the main takeaways I took from the AAA conference. I went with Kevin and the AFAS team. So I think that's what I'm mainly working for, and also like waiting for the initiation of the scheme with Nigeria, I and Peter, to do the Starry Horizon project. So and also I think one of the main things I'm working on is trying to find a very good way to get feedback from my students, from my visitors, because some of them are so young, they can't really write. They probably just write gibberish for you because they're like 6 years, 7 years, and I want to find a very creative way to get feedback from them to see how impactful their visits are. So that's sometimes still thinking about. So if you ever come across any way somebody is trying to get feedback from their visitors, that'll be really great.
Yeah.
I did design like a question and answer sheet, but it was not very effective, I say. Not very effective way. Because you have to print out a lot of things, a lot of sheets. This all, you know, we're trying to reduce waste, and it's like a one-use thing. So still thinking about a very effective, simple way to get feedback from, you know, from the
From
students.
younger kids, kids who don't necessarily have the attention span to fill out a form.
Yes. and cannot really maybe even write clearly.
Yeah.
Because English is not their first language, so you want to make them very comfortable giving you feedback. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking about.
There's some, well, actually, so you should check out the evaluation toolkit, which was from the OAE. And they have some really cool ideas about different ways you can do evaluation. And one of the things they talk about is that it's often best if you could like integrate the evaluation into whatever it is you're doing. So like, I know you just said that writing, it's the act of writing is sometimes a problem, but if you could encourage them to do like a diary while they're doing the activity that you have them do, you could track their like understanding and conceptualization of the problem that you're having them solve as they're doing it. And that kind of is like a kind of sneaky way of getting some kind of feedback from them. You could do some kind of a drawing activity. I could actually see like, instead of having it being like a written diary, doing like a drawing diary where they're, you know, drawing what they're seeing and how they think it works. And, you know, if that maybe makes sense. Yeah, so, you know, I think, but definitely check out that toolkit. They have a lot of really great ideas in there. And there's some information about how to ethically source your evaluation of particularly children. So, I mean, it's something to keep in mind if you ever want to publish your data that you're collecting, that you should make sure that you're doing it ethically. I think a lot of it is really common sense, you know, but does like if you're going to, if you want to publish in like the Journal of Science Communication, for example, JCOM, then they would require that you provide them with an IRB that shows that you've gone through all the necessary steps to get the permissions from the parents and from the teachers to make sure that you are collecting this data anonymously and in a way that, and you're storing the data in a way that is protected. And there's just a lot of procedure that goes around the ethics, getting the ethics approval from the IRB that you can then show to the journal. So there's a lot of steps, but the act itself of doing that, you know, getting those forms is not difficult and is very common sense. But the whole procedure around it is kind of difficult to manage sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Yes, yes. I'll have a look. I'll have a look at the evaluation toolkit and see how I can combine that with what I'm already thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And the person who wrote it, Sophie Bartlett, is really, really great. And she's very willing to talk to people about what she's working on. And she was running a bunch of workshops on how to use the toolkit. If I don't know if she has any that are coming up or if they're all
But where can I find the toolkit? Is it on the Basecamp?
Email her about it, I'm sure she'll sit down and talk. I think I put it on it.
Did they put on Basecamp?
Oh, it was actually posted by Gwen, but I can put it in the chat for you.
Okay.
There you
go. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll have a look at it. So basically that's all that I've been doing. Yeah. Not really much, but that's what I've been doing.
No, it's I mean, everything takes up way more bandwidth than we think it should, right? So
yeah.
No, it's everything is a lot. All of the things are a lot. But yeah, no, it's great. So I'm really excited about all the stuff that's happening. And this early career researcher thing, I think, is a really great. Actually, let me just put this in the chat for you.
Yeah.
I think this would be a really great fit for you. Actually,
Yes,
so
I'm really eager. So actually, I saw it yesterday. I was not awake, so I bookmarked it just so I could check it out this morning. And I did check it out, and I saw the requirements. So I've just been kind of thinking about it, like thinking about it in my head. I usually have a think about it before I can put stuff down. So I've just been kind of going through it in my head.
Yeah.
What I can write and what is needed and how I'm going to put it. So yeah, I'll have a crack at it maybe from tomorrow or Thursday, and maybe share with you if I need if you can give me any assistance. That'd be great.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
I forget when is there a deadline on here?
I think it's 24th of March. So there's
yeah.
still some time, but I always like to do my things really quickly before something happens. Like the
Yes,
cup,
yeah.
I knew that I had to like send it as soon as possible, so that I don't be late, because I had some time when I saw it. I'm like, let me do this now. Let me send this abstract now. But I will send another abstract about the Space Jam. I told you last year we had a Space Jam.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll put an abstract in for the Space Jam for the OA, for the General Assembly, and then for under the session of the outreach office. So I'll be there. And I have applied for funding for the General Assembly. I don't know about. I'm sure we'll get it for early career African. I'm sure I'll get funding to come.
Oh yeah.
And then we can meet there.
And if you are accepted into this program, you would also get funding through them to come
Okay.
to the
All
team.
right.
So
All right. So I can apply for that too.